Hello. How goes? Look at that 6-0 yesterday. 100% win rate, 2 tournaments in a row. Vampire Coast and Vampire counts are great. And the tournament begins soon. Trizik, happy to have you here. Actually, since you're here, Trizik, can you actually message Mike Knight? M-I-C-K and then Knight as in nighttime. They're a new player in the tournament. They might need help. I've also sent them your way, so. Should be good. So let's generate the bracket. Let's make sure everyone's checked in. Here we go. Okay, so they're checked in. All right. Bracket generation is happening. If there's any late people signing up, I can guide you through the process. But for now, we're up against Ponty. The endless bullying of Ponty continues. And yes, indeed, we are playing Norsca today. Fairly strong faction. I want to make use of Berserkers. That's the plan. Did it check you in? I don't know. If it didn't, I can fix it. Let's see here. I don't know if it got you in. Do you want me to get you in, Flying Taco? What's your Discord name? Let me double check. Yeah, Ponty's playing Dark Elves. Yeah, I don't think it checked you in. I think you might have been a little too late. Do let me know. Let me know on Discord if you want me to add you. I think someone has a buy round. And it'll get us practice for our assistant here. Yeah, Flying Taco. You thought you signed up 3 hours ago? Yeah, there's a million signups. How are you? I'm doing great. Sick. All right, you need to be added. All right. So we're gonna message one of our admins. Okay, so we got to add Flying Taco. Do you know how to? If not, we can teach them. We can get added in, and you will face Ulrich Rahl. All right. You can message Ulrich Rahl. He's your opponent. Very nice. Huzzah! Everything's all. And today, we're gonna bully Ponty with Berserkers. Much excitement. Alrighty, so who's first ban? I'm first ban. I'll ban if he's playing Dark Elves. Or I'm playing on the arena. It's either that or Blazing Ramparts. Or okay, I'll ban the arena. Banning arena. I don't want him to kite me. Give me those Hydras though. Give me as many War Hydras as you possibly can. Norsca time. I think every build today is going to have 5 Berserkers. Now, I might actually pass on the Marauder Horseman too. Because I kind of want to go super hard on the melee today. And see what we can get done there. I have a feeling that Norsca has a pretty insane rush. He wants to play Blazing Ramparts. Makes a lot of sense. Blazing Ramparts. And then we should be good. It's never Chevron maxing. Except for that one time when I went Grail Guardian. Bretonia Chevron maxing. That's the only time though. Alright, this should be a pretty fun build. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this'll be a good one. I can even use Marauder Horseman. Okay, maybe 2 Marauder Horseman throwing axes just in case he has Hydras. As much as I want a full melee it. Well, I really want to use Fimir too, man. Bro, Norsca has so much stuff. They have so much cool stuff. I guess Fimir kind of died to cold ones though. So they're probably less good in this matchup. The Maws of Savagery, ROR Skin Wolves, however, they're quite amazing. Marauder Hunter Javelins. Maybe I even get a couple of those. Maybe just some normal Marauders. I really want to try out like a different flavor of Norsca than I usually play. It's almost always 6 Horsemen when I play them. And we want to mix it up a bit. Maybe we get some Marauder Champions. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe get a Troll even. Why don't we do a little bit of trolling? Alright, this should be pretty good. And then we'll just double check that Flying Taco has been added against Oliver Caval. I think it's still being done. That oh yeah is the highest concentration of Canadian I've heard exit Ent. Really? Maybe. You really like Norsca thematically, but their Marauder units are so useless in campaign. You should try Chariot Maxing. I did do a Chariot only run for Norsca. It was pretty jokes. Also, I think most tier 1 units are pretty garbage in campaign, right? Campaign's all about the elite stuff. Hey, Marauder Champions are not the worst. Okay, if you're not a great player, maybe Chariot Maxing's bad. But Marauder Champions at least can kind of cook. All right, ready. Good luck, have fun. So I have 1,000,000 Berserkers. And we're just going to YOLO into his face. Now, he has 8 units. That is disturbing on multiple levels. Is he just going to raw kite me? Non-zero chance. You've been waiting for this one a while? Oh, hell yeah. Please don't let some of us survive. Oh, dang. His name's Norscan Monkey. Yeah, now we're tryharding, man. I gotta get ready for the grand finals. Grand finals are on the 8th. I have like 2 weeks. Yeah, I have like two and a half weeks to train for the grand finals. I gotta touch upon all the factions. Right now, it seems like Vampire Coast is actually really strong. Really? That's it? 2, 4, 8. Hand bows again. Okay, Ponty's in his second phase of all the bad units of Dark Elves. Corsair hand bows? I'm gonna judge Ponty for the rest of his life. Seriously though, I don't think Corsair hand bows are the bestest. Now, they're not the worst. They're definitely better than Hydras. Which you may notice he has not brought against us in this particular match. But hand bows, they got like no range, bro. They got like negative range for a skirmisher unit. I don't know. Now he has a bunch of cold one knights here, right? They're pretty hype. Can he defeat the Maws of Savagery though? So he started with Cav. That's going to be a little bit sus. But I think with a fairly big infantry advantage, right? Oh, whoops, Wolfer King shot up. Look at that tickling. Basically no damage. But yeah, with these bad boys, I'll probably be fine. Is that a little spell from Malekith? Look at that. He tickles. Well, so far it's pretty chill. Oh my god. And now he brings in the Charybdis. So, you gotta... It's pretty slow. He's gotta disengage right now or die. We'll see how these chariots do. I see he's using his Cold War Knights to screen for his infantry. This will be a little sus though, right? His Charybdis is so expensive and so slow. If it doesn't get into this battle right now, he's in for a bad time. At least presumably. We'll counter it with the horsemen. We do have those 2 capture points, very nice. We're going to blast his poor guys over there and use the Maws of Savagery to catch some cav. And that should be enough. That should be enough to get a pretty decent initial start. Charybdis shows up quite late, so you can see how much value I got off of my opponent in the brief window pre-Charybdis. And now that it's actually shown up, now we bring in the Marauder Horseman to bully the crap out of it. Now he's caught some of my chariots. I'm not the best chariot microer in the world. That's what we're practicing today. But can the Charybdis stand up to this? You can see his army's been absolutely ravaged. But he's pulling back value now that the Charybdis is actually a part of the battlefield. We will... I don't know, I don't really need the magic right now. Don't really need a lot of magic. Berserkers will be great though. They're chill. He summons in a caster, okay. I guess he doesn't have enough spells on the Malekith. But here's the problem, right? He's getting kind of pushed back, all his skirmishers. The Charybdis is completely alone and afraid. If we just murder it with the Manticore, I think that's the end of my opponent here. And this is, yeah, this is just taking a really decisive engagement. Norsca is fast and powerful. They're very good at just getting in there and taking you to Pound Town. And just being a little too aggressive seems like it's going to be the end of them. How my chariots are doing? Not bad. One of them's doing okay. The other one's eh. But the Charybdis is just dead now. It was unable to participate. Nothing like 300 value on your unit that costs many hundreds of gold. Very nice. Yep, it's just dead. There it goes. And that is why you must be careful when you bring the big monsters. Absolute brutality. The poor thing is dead. Malekith is getting swarmed. He's getting absolutely massacred. He casts Power of Darkness on his low HP unit. They are not going to like that very much because one spell cast is just going to kill them. And overall, props to Ponty for the cool build ideas. But I think the lack of efficiency is just a little too much. The spellcaster meta, I'm gonna need to see a little bit more more success with it. I've never been impressed by spellcaster builds. He's a good player though, but he cooks very hard, maybe a bit too much. Always love to see what crazy idea he has to bring though. Unfortunately, Charybdis just died. His caster, I guess you got a little bit of value. Malekith, eh. Dread Knights, ooh. And the Corsairs got basically nothing. Yeah, Corsairs did not cook. The Berserkers were all in good HP and paying for themselves. Frost Doggo is really good. And dang, even the chariot that died got a lot of value. 906 and 680. That's pretty good. The slowing effect they had really helped me get the push in. It's pretty nice. Back to adminning. Yeah, you always have the utmost respect for someone who cooks. I think it just needs more cooking. I'm happy that he tries it, but like, I don't know, man. I've been there before. I've tried to cook with the spell spam builds and they never do well. They never ever do well. So seeing Ponty go through the same things that I've gone through, the skepticism is strong, but I'm happy to be proven wrong always. Now, yeah. Adminning. So we gotta do this. All right. Then, helping with the adminning. All right. Ponty's trying to impress Mrs. Claw with his sick builds. I think if he actually retreated earlier on, he might have been able to get some pretty solid kiting. Because the Courser handbows are actually a little bit of a threat to the Berserkers. They're non-AP. They're a little expensive though, they cost the same price. So they'd have to kill a whole Berserker's worth of skirmishing to actually pay for themselves. Which is a little bit rough. There's Norsca versus Dark Elves, Norsca wins. Do you get anything out of the Coursers? Not really. I think most of them were like 200 gold. You declared war on a minor Norsca faction, and the next turn Wolfric got confederated into them. Oh, dang. Well, that's what you get, man. Norskins back Norskins. Haven't you seen the actual Vikings? I'm sure historically, you know, they banded together when the English warred against them, right? I don't know. I watched Vinland Saga. That's my historical knowledge. Alright, beautiful Unga Bunga Max. Yeah. Berserkers are insane. They actually have really high mass for some reason. 18 tens. Also known as 180 mass. That's quite high. Your average Marauder is only 100. These guys are almost twice the weight of a Marauder. Despite both units not having armor, these guys are just huge apparently. They're all they're all strong men, I guess. Alrighty. Let's see here. Let me refresh the page, make sure. We just refresh. Yeah, okay, everything's good. Let's see here. Keep an eye on go. Ulrich doesn't respond by the end of the round. They both get a win. Since the issues were mostly on our side. Alright. Very nice. Everything's added. Everything's goodies. Huzzah! Admitting success. Special shout out to Trizik, also known as Storm, for helping with the adminning. 50 gold chevron. Here? Bro, what do you mean? Why would I intentionally reduce the cost effectiveness of my units? You gotta pay for chevrons, you know. Well, you think I gotta. How often do you summon all your units in the game, man? No, you need value. You need value per dollar spent. That's like going to Costco and like buying a slightly more expensive piece of meat. That's not worth it to you, but you're like, I gotta fill my shopping cart. Look at how empty the shopping cart is. I gotta top it off. You guys would be terrible shoppers, all of you. Anyone who suggests that I chevron the reinforcing army, what are you doing, man? Wish palanquins. Wait, palanquins are actually good on tabletop? That's crazy. Crazy, really? 12 baby mammoths in one unit. I can't believe it's in the extended roster. It's technically 5 baby mammoths, but it would be so fun as an actual unit. Come on, man. I poked the bear? You absolutely did. I have a vendetta against chevrons. I have a vendetta. I think chevrons are probably the most commonly... Nothing wrong with suggesting it. All in good fun. But it's like the most commonly suggested thing that is totally wrong. All new players, too, fall into the trap, too. And it makes me sad. It makes me sad to witness. Fun fact. What's it? Regiments of Renown are actually fully chevroned units. So if you compare the Marauder Berserkers, they're like, the stats are basically the same. Usually RORs have the same stats as fully chevroned units, except they also get a bonus. So like, look at these guys. They're the same as normal Berserkers, but they have 20 more armor and they're unbreakable. Technically, they have 5 less melee defense, but most units will just be a straight bonus. Like, let's look at the Icehorn Marauders, right? Look at that. Same stats, right? Literally the same, but this one has perfect vigor. Which means, also they tend to be cheaper. Which means, if chevrons were actually good, people would run every single ROR in the game. They would be like, holy crap, it's a full chevron Cold Void or on the cheap. It's a fully chevron Mammoth on the cheap. Holy, oh my god. And every build would look like this, and it would be a mess. You would have a rainbow Warhammer. Now, yeah, they could balance it another way. But given that CA seems like they're winding down on Warhammer 3, I don't trust them to balance it. All right, nice. The adminning is done for this round. Wow, the sun really came out. Ah! It is not this bright. It's just how the camera be. The light balancing. Oh, there we go. Ooh, look at that. Back in focus. I wonder what CA does after Warhammer 3. Totally 40k. It has to be 40k. There's no way it is not 40k in my mind. No, it would be absurd. It would be actually absurd if they did not release 40k. Like, surely Warhammer 3 ends, right? They close it off. Maybe not complete, but they start fresh. They start fresh with 40k, and they do it right. You know, I think that has to be it. Right? Age of Sigmar. If they do Age of Sigmar, you know what? So be it. As long as they have some kind of Warhammer title going and it prints money, I'm okay. If it's just another historical title, I don't know, man. Unless it's Medieval 3. But like, I don't think their historical titles do as well as like the Warhammer stuff, right? Look, whatever prints money in the end, all right? Because if it prints money for them, it will mildly print money for me. Considering that Old World is already discontinued by Games Workshop. Old World is officially dead, right? Really? It's already discontinued? Rip. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Three Kingdoms did as good as Warhammer, but they dropped the ball on the DLCs. Oh, huh. Three Kingdoms did better than Warhammer? Oh, never mind. Alright. Get another Three Kingdoms-esque game. Damn it. Is the secret to the Total War formula Legendary Lords? So they're gonna do Medieval 3 with Legendary Lords, right? And then hey, like if the formula works, all right, I'll take it. Three Kingdoms isn't historical though. That's based on a book. Yeah, it's not like properly historical, but it's historical enough where people are happy with it. Anyways, like I said, I don't really care what comes next as long as there's a good multiplayer scene. That's all I want. I want a good multiplayer scene and enough people who are interested where it doesn't become so niche that this is no longer a sustainable business. That's all I want. Medieval 2 also wasn't that historical. Perfect then. Perfect. All right. I never played Medieval 2, so I don't know what's going on. Also, a lot of signups today. Look at that. Gonna do an auto-generated army tournament challenge. That is almost unwinnable. A bad army will make it where I will lose to like most players. Like Cyril, right? In StarCraft 2. Top StarCraft 2 player in the world. Playing with a build that a new player gives him. With all the terrible timings, right? So like a Bronze League build with Cyril levels of micro will still lose to the average diamond player.
Which regiment of renown is worth it and which is not, and when do you put chevrons and when do you not?
I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, Cyril using a Bronze League build will lose to a Diamond Rush, right? Like your average, you know, Diamond player 6 pool is going to beat some random Bronze player jank. Auto-generated armies are the same. The build is just so bad that we lose to any build that is half decent. But unknown, with the 50 Danish kroner, geez, thank you so much. Which regiment of renown is worth and which is not? And when do you put chevrons and when do you not? You never put chevrons on. Ever. Don't do it. Just don't do it. So that solves that. The much more complicated part here is which regiments of renown are worth it. And the answer to that are only the ones you see at high level tournament play. So you go to Turin's grand finals, go to his last grand finals, look at the regiments of renown that are brought, and take those. If you see an ROR and you're like, what does this do? Don't take it. In fact, that's the rule of thumb for all of them. If you don't know what they do off the top of your head from watching videos, don't take it. If you see Miststalkers and you're like, I've seen that around, they have stock, right? Yes, take it, right? If you see the Soul Crusher and you're like, what does that do again? Don't take it. Don't run it. If you know what it does, but you don't see it in videos and you only know it from campaign, also don't take it. Let's find a good example. Mirror Guard, right? Can you tell me exactly what Supreme Vanity does? No, don't take it. Don't go for it. The Dark Elves? Tell me. Who here can tell me what Knights of the Ebon Claw have over the normal Cold Wind Dread Knights? I guess it's Murderous Mastery. Can you tell me what the effects of Murderous Mastery are over Murderous Prowess? No. Don't take it. It's that simple. It's that simple. Which is to say, most of the time you don't take RORs. There's a few staples that you see all the time. I think almost anyone can tell me the difference between Swordsman and Sons of Sigmar, because I talk about it all the time. Sons of Sigmar are unbreakable and have massive stats. The biggest selling point is the fact that they're unbreakable swordsmen. Most people know what's great about this unit. Take it all the time. Free Company Militia, Sterling's Revenge is a niche case. If you know what they have that is different from normal Free Company, then you'll know when you want to take it. The difference is they have armor piercing. If you need armor piercing Free Company, then you run it, right? Sometimes you see this unit. Is there an ROR that... Oh yeah, the Sunmaker. What's the difference between the Sunmaker and a normal Hellstorm rocket battery? Any Empire main will tell you. It shoots bloody fast, right? It's a rapid fire beast. You want a Hellstorm that melts units like no tomorrow? Yeah, run it, right? Yeah, this is a great unit. See it all the time. Obviously, you take that. Now, I know Unknown is a dwarf player, so we can go through the RORs here. Do you ever see Goblobbers much in tournament play? No. Do you see Skyhammer Squadron? No, not really. You see the Brotherhood of Grimnir sometimes. Not that often. ROR Ironbreakers? Nope. 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 Sometimes. Sometimes. Nope. Very rarely. Nope. Sometimes. Sometimes on the Equine Miners. You know what the Equine Miners have? They have more ammunition than your normal miner. Other than that, though, yeah, I just don't really run them. They're generally not that efficient. Is there any faction that spams RORs? I don't think so. Does Warriors of Chaos spam RORs? Not really. Most of them use up marks. Does anyone spam RORs? Is it the Lizardmen, maybe? Not even, really. Yeah, more often than not, you'd be better betting to not take them, I think. I think most of them aren't really worth the price. Bretonia? Oh yeah, Bretonia actually does take a few RORs. But they're only good if you know how to use them. Magic damage. They're magic damage Knights of the Realm. This is anti-large questing knights. This is poison mounted yeoman archers. This is frenzy defenders. These are frenzy knights errant. You see them a little bit. Oh yeah, and these are Chad halberds. Technically, they're halberd foot squires, which kind of just make them an entirely different unit. Some RORs are like that, where like the Dark Elves have like the Raven Heralds, which are technically Dark Rider repeater crossbows, but they're flying, which is just a totally different unit type. They have different entity count, different stats. It might as well just be a completely different unit. That's just a one of. Uncle for Uncle? Yes, Uncle for Uncle. Always take that one, Unknown. This is your pop quiz, alright? Is Uncle for Uncle good? Every Warhammer multiplayer player should know the answer. There's the true answer, and there's the answer in your heart, okay? Only playing Norsca today? Yeah, it's an SFT. Wait, you got a giant meaty dangler? You got a giant at 2k value? I saw your message, but I didn't process. You got a 2k value giant, jeez. I'm seeing a lot of answers from the heart in chat. Best example I can think of is Brotherhood of Grimnir. Yeah, but they're not even that crazy, right? They're just a slight upgrade. I think if you remove Brotherhood of Grimnir from the game, dwarves are not that hurt, really. I think normal Doomseekers are already kind of good enough. Giant meaty dangler, brand new sentence. Is it though? Yo, that name, that name is a very sketchy name. Who has a giant? We have a giant meaty dangler on Twitch. They're actually a Twitch exclusive. So you guys are gonna have to go there if you want to see them. If you want to see them. Oh, what am I doing? Why is this my career? My parents would not be proud seeing this part of the stream. Thankfully, they do not watch the stream, so we are good. Yes, red-crested skinks. They are unbreakable and unkillable. Lol, what? He's a viewer. He's a viewer, guys. It's just his name, okay? He plays Greenskins. He's just a dude. Calm down, people. My gosh. Hey, what's up, Linus? What's up? Have to have you here. We're crushing it with Norsca today. Already got our first win against a Dark Elf main. It's going pretty well. How does Norsca deal with flying units? They kill everything on the ground. It's hilarious. It's a Norsca, right? They kill everything on the ground, capture all the points, and then they just let themselves get shot the whole battle. Who cares? Who even cares? They can be dwarven air compositions if you do it just right. You do need to bring some horsemen though. Against some real vicious air builds, horsemen are the answer because they reduce the DPS of flying units by making them move. A flying unit on the move has to reposition and retarget. And when their DPS is lower, you're not going to lose your whole army. Face the foot style. You can use that. You can use Fimir too. These guys are insane. Bro, Fimir are so stacked nowadays. 25% missile resist base. 25% if their leadership is high. They got 70 leadership. It's always high. They just don't die. Effective 16,000 HP versus range.
2 units of hunters with axes.
And they got armor. 2 units of hunters with axes. That's pretty easy. I can do that. I'll put them in the main army for the next game. Sure, why not? For 20 Danish kroner, I'll do it. Norsca strong. What's gonna happen? We're gonna die? No way. No way, Jose. Turin viewer spotted. Yeah, Turin talks about face of foot quite a bit. A Norsca javelin's good. They're not bad. The javelins tend to be quite good, not because they're a good range unit, but because the roster complements them quite well. They're a range unit with really high DPS short range, which would be bad in most situations, but when you're beating your opponent into the ground, they will generally just sit around and get free shots 24/7. You don't need them though. But they're pretty fun. Did not want to make it too bad this time. Thank you so much. Have you tried Scylla? Sorry, it's Scylla and Fingram. In Hades 2, one of the bosses is named Scylla. They pronounce it Scylla. In Warhammer, it's Scylla. Can we get sirens? Can we get sirens for Warhammer? I would love to make a Hades 2 themed build for Warhammer. Let's see, how can I do that? What's the best way to do it? Let's see here. Maybe I can run Barona's Time Warp. I can use, I don't know, man. This is harder than I thought it'd be. Let's see here. Witches! Oh, I can do witches. Okay, yeah. So you play Dark Elves, right? And you go a witch-themed build, right? Yeah. Are there any moon shenanigans we can do? Are there any moon-themed units? I feel like the Hydra is close enough. Why not? Oh, Harpies for sure, right? You gotta go Harpies. Honestly, the whole Dark Elf roster is pretty close. Anything else? Is there anything else? It's not that much, actually. This is about as good as I can get. Hydras, yeah. Is a Hydra in Hades 1? Yeah. And he gets killed 24/7. Good old Lerny. we gotta make more Lernies by taking Hydras and watching them die. Oh yeah, obviously Medusa. Yeah. Oh yeah. Where are they at? Yeah, we got Medusas. Is Ponty actually a Hades enjoyer? I think a lot of this makes sense now. Although he doesn't run Medusas often. I feel like Medusas are hype. Watching Danican use Medusas kind of makes me want to try out some Dark Elf kite. But Danican doesn't have a perfect win rate with Dark Elves, so I feel like it might be too sus. It might not actually be strong enough. How's it going? You gonna win the grand tournament? I'm gonna try. When I'm try-harding, it seems like I'm able to win against top players. Losing to Lizardman as Slaanesh was a little embarrassing though. But I did run a buff spell, so maybe that's my issue. Apparently, Slaanesh does bad into Lizardmen anyways, because you can't rampage them easily. But I feel like if I just rushed them, I would have won. I feel like we could just rush them. Oh yeah, that's true, yeah. Medusa versus Gorgons, I guess is the difference. Or is there a difference? Or are they the same? What's the difference between a Medusa and a Gorgon? Is Medusa just a, is that just a Warhammer thing? No. No. So what's the difference? Or is it? Let me double check. Oh, Medusa's just a specific person? Yeah, okay, yeah. It's just a specific. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way it's a Warhammer unique thing. Dude, Warhammer stole so much. Not even Malekith is a unique name. Is Medusa just, yeah, the one person and Gorgon is the general? Medusa's like a brand name, like Kleenex is to tissue? Ah. Thank you. Was it Burning Sword? No, it was, the Hysterical Frenzy. Is this one? Tried to use this on Fiends to make them hyper DPS, but it actually got me no value. I lost like 2,000 gold and the game was super close. So 2,000 gold would have actually won it for me. Yeah, so there's no Gorgons in... Oh, wait, no. Wait. Because there is. Wait, no. Are there Gorgons in Warhammer? Aren't Gorgons like a whole nother unit? Warhammer Gorgon. Warhammer Gorgon is... Wait, that's just a Cygor, bro. That's just a Cygor. Or a Bloodbrute Behemoth. Oh, wait, no, yeah, no, it is literally. What am I doing? The base thing is called a Gorgon. Yeah, okay, sorry. No one ever runs this. I only know it as the Bloodbrute Behemoth. I'm like, it's a Behemoth, what do you mean? Yeah, I didn't even realize this might be. Wow, man, that unit really sucks, doesn't it? It really sucks. No one talks about it. Wow, it's really in the pits. All right, advancing the Swiss. Goblins, round 2. All right, nice. Who are we up against? Meat not included. Yo, yo. I'm Norsca. I believe meat not included is not the meat angler. Yeah, they are different people. And the Kislev. Alright. Alright, alright. I'm getting messages everywhere. It happens when you make a new round. Alright, alright. Alright, and everything good. Everything good. Alright. So we're gonna try 2 axe throwers and see how that goes. So many cool monsters in Warhammer there are. Too bad most of them suck. So Kislev is pretty chill. They have some pretty strong cavalry, but I feel like they're chill. What maps do we have? Labor Camp, Creeping Swamp, Cursed Oasis. Creeping Swamp is this one. I'll ban Swamp. Yeah, I'll ban Swamp. I think it's slightly better for Kislev. I would expect them to pick Cursed Oasis though. A little bit of a desert map, but we should be okay. And Kislev shouldn't be too good into Norsca. I feel like I have everything I need here. Just gotta make sure I don't die to Frostworm. You know, like a big SE Frostworm build. And I should be okay. That's basically it. Is there anything else that I need? I need some anti-Frostworm tech, which basically amounts to like a couple Fimir. He bans Cursed Oasis. Holy crap. He wants to play on Bleakspire Labor Camp. Alright. In my head, this is worse for Kislev, but it does have more choke points, which is good for my opponent. But yeah, if I just hard push him, this should be pretty bad. In fact, if I kill off all of his infantry, do I even need to worry about his cavalry? Mayhaps not, actually. Yeah, I think we don't have to worry about cavalry if his infantry's dead, because berserkers are insane. And then, yeah, some Fimir are good, manticores are good. Horsemen, make sure you don't die. Do I have anything that worries me? Not really. Norsca's pretty straightforward, aren't they? Yeah, just take a lot of infantry. Alright, I should be good. It's a perfect spend, too. First, you need to Unga, and then you must Bunga. Easy win. I'm on it. The biggest threat is a Kislev late game with a ludicrous number of cavalry cleaning up my infantry constantly and winning versus my ice wolves. But to get to that late game, it needs to be a pretty even fight. And this army does not intend to have an even fight, not in the slightest. This map's also not that great for kite. It's a lot of trees. So I should be okay. Actual Unga Bunga Norscan strats today? Yeah, basically no skirmishers unless I absolutely have to take them. Otherwise, we're mostly just rushing. Here we go. Need a club build with Norsca. Great weapons, giants, Fimir, no ranged. Let's see here. Yeah, this is more of an axe build, isn't it? Will you accept an axe build? The great thing about Norscan axe swords is that like they're usually not a liability. It should still go very well for us. I got Wolfric, I got Burning Head. Classic Norscan strategies. And I am going to walk forwards. Ready, good luck, have fun. He has 10 units, which is relatively low. That tells me he probably doesn't have an infantry focus build. If he does, we should absolutely win this. So he's guiding us. He has Zargard, holy crap. Now they have really high melee defense. Zargard. 50 melee defense, but I have 50 melee attack and bonus versus infantry. So I don't really have to worry about it. His magic amounts to nothing. Actually, Ice Maiden's Kiss is a little annoying versus Berserkers. But he is actually trying to Unga Bunga me. Interesting. You don't Unga Bunga Norsca though. You don't out Unga Bunga them. Norsca has some of the most cost-efficient infantry in the entire game. So I'm just gonna triple cap him and take the fight while the iron is hot. His army's definitely weaker than mine right now. He has some skirmishers, that's about it. Fimir will take a little while to get here, but the value they get will be great. Is that a slow? Oh, I mean, that's not gonna really increase the amount of time you get to shoot though, right? That's the thing. You're only gonna get maybe one more volley, but most likely not even that. So I'm a little worried for him. And we're gonna chuck a boat down the pipe. Then we're gonna chuck an overcast Burning Head to shut down them archers. Gonna use our ice wolves here to rout off those mobility pieces first. You kill the mobility first, then the archers and such. The boat does pretty well, the Burning Head does pretty well. And then we're gonna start spamming doggos. Doggos! Get in there! Wolfric's having a dandy old time. Does rout off one Berserker. But I think we're still doing fairly well. Our center line is very strong right now. Our value trading is great. And he sends his ambushers into melee, which should be a terrible fight for them. Should be an absolutely terrible fight. Berserker's doing well. Yeah, center line has gone great for us. The Zargard are completely shut down, but we haven't captured this point yet. So we're actually gonna have to go ahead and do that. Also, Wolfric's taking some damage from the kitty cat. Look at that. Opponent actually making some pretty solid plays. Can I, okay, those are just dervishes. I don't need to worry about them. We have routed off the ambushers now. Marvelous. Zargard are going down. So realistically, what do I have to do here? Make sure Wolfric doesn't die for one. Finish routing off these fools. And just keep his cavalry busy for a little bit. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. We already have the triple cap. So time is already of the essence for my opponent. He's down trading. And capturing points and up trading do not go hand in hand with each other. So in theory, I should totally be fine here. We got a Manticore. Our Frost Doggos are having the time of their lives. People always talk about Kislev by our blood being annoying. They're like, man, it's like they're unbreakable. The problem that they have though, right, is that they don't think about the simple solutions. You just kill them, right? You just kill them. It's okay. More heads to chop off. It's fine. Just because they stand their ground doesn't mean that they're a problem, all right? It's chill. You just walk forwards, man. Look, you see the Zargard? I had to bring them down to 6 entities. Do I care? No. Because we are Norskins, all right? We're not a bunch of filthy Empire troops that feel like they gotta rout their enemies. We're definitely not filthy undead with all their shenanigans. No. We are mighty. We are monkey. Oh boy, it's a massacre. His entire army's dead. To capture points would just be such severe down trading. There's no way. There's no way. Land boat. The power of the land boat within me is gonna clear that back line of infantry. Half HP gone. And then, yeah, I don't think there's much left, is there? Is there anything Wulfric actually beats? Not much. He's not the best fighter in the game. But his boat, though. Can I introduce you to Wulfric's boat? Because while he might not be a great fighter, not many people can survive being run over by, by a ship out of nowhere. I don't know how that works exactly as a spell, by the way. I don't know why a random boat can just be summoned on in. Like, is he a magician? I know, like, he got some dark god shenaniganry, right? That lets him teleport. So I guess he's teleporting the boat. But, like, wouldn't it just, like, break apart the moment it touches land? I'm no boat expert. But, yeah. Generally, though, even on a mammoth, Wulfric is not going to do super well. That's not his job, though. If you want someone that can fight, you take Throg. Throg is where it's at, man. He's like... Throg's definitely a world beater. Teleboat. But yeah, Throg will do much better, but he gets shot to death a lot. You don't really want Throg v archers most of the time. And most builds we're facing are gonna be pretty archer heavy. Jeez, what's the cooldown on this? 90 seconds. That's quite short. Got all of our boats out by the 6-minute mark. Wulfric has 1500 value. That's more than some spellcasters get by the end of the game. Whoop. There goes the Lord. And then these axe throwers, do they have decent stats? Can't even see. GG! That was pretty chill. Norsca. They're a faction. It's crazy that this still doesn't feel stronger than undead. I think my vampire counts actually feel scarier. Like my vampire counts and vampire coast, I think is even more punishing. Because that game, at the very beginning, I was like, oh, am I going to win this fight? Vampire counts and coast, though, absolutely no problem. Holy Berserker value. Jeez. 1500 Berserkers, all right. This one got focus fired. But if you bring enough distraction carnifexes, you will just push through. Marauder Hunters did pretty well. Chucking into Zargard. That was quite nice. And his archers were just getting shut down, right? Yeah, none of them paid for themselves. Very nice. These rush builds tend to be good against archer strats. A lot of people... So if you kind of flip a coin before you choose to go for a bunch of horsemen or a bunch of melee, then you're good. Like, basically just invert these builds and you'll be fine. You know, 6 horsemen, or you start with mass Berserker. The hunters are okay. Let's see their stats. They are... Okay, I guess their stats are very similar to Marauder Great Weapons. They're slightly more expensive and they have no HP. Wow, they really have no HP. I would say not the best unit. They did help win the melee fight, but I probably would have been better off with 2 more Ice Wolves. I would not say worthless. Given that they use all their ammunition, it's a little bit of an underperformance though. Like, optimally, if they use all their ammo, they should be getting like twice their value, right? That's basically the best case scenario. It's not super hard to get the best case scenario though. Would you be better off with just horsemen throwing axes? Maybe. Pushing through the Zargard's not bad though. Like, it's okay. But like, I could almost get a Fimir Warrior for those 2 axe throwers, and this guy would dumpster the Zargard. Not even close, man. What about Wood Elf Archer strats? That can be pretty scary against these Berserkers. You need to find a way to tank with your Marauders. They'll stall long enough for you to get into the fight. You do have a lot of slows, so if they overextend, you can potentially catch them and get a lot of frostbite off. But it's a bit of a toss-up. Who wins? Norsca versus Wood Elves. You will generally have the better infantry though. Like, in a raw infantry fight, Berserkers are insane. It's just, they're gonna get shot a lot. You kind of have Fimir for that. You could see Way Watchers, but even Way Watchers will take a little while to kill off Fimir. It's still worth a while though. You kind of need a catch for Wood Elves. I honestly don't look forward to fighting them too much. But you never know, maybe it works out well. Also, yeah, generally I would say Javelins are better. Javelins are better. They actually have decent armor piercing. Kind of similar to like swordsmen. And against large, they're just going to be better than the axe throwers. At least in most circumstances. What's their AP value? I guess they have a lot of AP. But like, usually you're not shooting at infantry with these guys. It's usually something big. So I would say 9 times out of 10 javelins. Maybe even more. 19 times out of 20. Also, at some point, I want to get Scylla in here. Scylla's hype. Insane resistances. They have a rampage. They have a mortis engine. It's only 10 meter range though. But they have a mortis engine. And that's basically all they need. I would say it's probably better to just stick with the kill for Khorne. You can get glorious charge on Scylla, but I don't think it's worth it. Not for 200. If a unit has bonus versus large and fights a small unit and a large unit at the same time, it will only count towards the large unit. Only towards large. His mortis is terrible? Oh, okay, good to know. I thought it was supposed to be good. Is it because the effect range is so small? I guess the mortis engine is like, what, 35 meters? 10 meters is pretty close quarters. I could see it not activating much. And to see start the stream, wins the tournament, ends the stream. You never know. There's a lot of scary players that can actually take me out in the semifinals. Like losing to Boss Toss with Slaanesh. What am I doing, man? Washed up. Mm-hmm. Between Wulfric and Tyrion, who is the best value footlord? To purposefully get killed for more uses of their equipment? I'm sorry, what does Tyrion have? Silostra definitely wins the prize of I want my lord to die the most. Wulfric is in the I don't mind that my lord dies, but if it's at the wrong time, I kind of get screwed. Tyrion is in the why are you running Tyrion category. I'm sorry, what do you get out of him? What, Heart of Avalorn? Bro, this guy sucks. We established last stream that he's worse than Eltharion in basically every aspect. He's pretty bad. Yeah, Bossos is on a tear. We beat him afterwards, though. I've claimed the #1 spots on the leaderboard. And I'm hoping to maintain it for the season. Yeah, 2 tournament wins, 95.2% win rate. Hell yeah. Since Sunday, I've played 21 games and I've won 20 of them. That's pretty good. That's the undead difference, man. Undead's crazy strong. I'm hoping Daniken and Charix don't learn undead by the time the grand finals hit. Because if they do, then I'll have to learn their counters. Maximizing Sunfang uses? I guess the cooldown is 2 minutes. Sunfang, look at that. 33 damage, 33% armor piercing. You know what Sunfang is? This is Sunfang. Alright? It's an 8 winds of magic spell. That's what we're resetting for. That's what we're having Tyrion die for. Oh, jeez. It does 3 more damage. It does 3 more damage, and technically it's fire damage. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Even if it's weird and it hits twice or something, it's still kind of eh. I've never seen people do a backflip for Wind Blast before. So Sunfang's a garbage spell. Yeah. Have you used Sunfang? Oh my god. Okay, all right. Let's take a look. Let's look at this elite king of the high elves. All right. Let me see this real quick. It's your troll country, right? And we're gonna do this. And we're gonna get a mage of heavens, right, with Wind Blast. Then we're gonna go to the Warriors of Chaos roster, right? We're gonna take some armor. I gotta see for myself. You know, maybe it's glitchy. Maybe it's glitchy and it does more than it should. Laughs and Fiery Invocation. Okay, yeah, that one's worse. Wait, it doesn't auto recharge? What, he has to be in melee for it? Bro, Scab Scrath is already like Scab Scrath is already almost Sunfang tier. Alright, let's take a look. So Tyrion, if we use Sunfang and we cast it from corner like so, that's the damage that it does. If we use Wind Blast and cast it like so, that's the damage it does. Yeah, it's Wind Blast. It's freaking Wind Blast. You know why people use this? Because it looks cool. But guess what? For everyone who thinks it looks cool, yeah, it's not much of a diff, is it? Oh my gosh. And to think CA's like, we gotta restrict this. Make it 2 minutes. Tyrion's gotta be in melee for 120 seconds before he can use this one again. Otherwise it's too strong. Meanwhile, we got Wolfric just chucking boats out 24/7. 4-hour wind up time. Yeah, that's true. It takes longer to cast. It's worse than Wind Blast. Oh my god. What's the price of the abilities? Wait, how much does Sunfang cost? It costs 200 gold. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Let's take a look at Norsca. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that's bad. Oh, that's bad, man. Oh my god. I'm gonna message CA right now that my stream chat that I'm bringing up on stream. Sunfang costs 200 gold, and Sea Fang, clearly the better Fang, costs 150 gold. And Fang is worse than Wind Blast, and Sea Fang is better than, what is it better than? 56 damage? Holy crap. That's like better than Pendulum. It's actually better than Pendulum. Look at that. It's so much damage. That's pretty crazy. But I want to what's it? Currencies. All right. It's been submitted. Result, Seafang now costs 200. Please. Please. I do actually have to bring this up though. CA doesn't watch my streams outside of DLC launches. So like, I can talk about something for like 50 hours on stream and they actually just don't catch wind of stuff that we see on the reg. So it is actually super important that I tell them a lot and encouraged. I've been told by CA staff specifically that they want me to spam away basically. And I will. I'm like, I'm messaging so much. Oh, please, CA. Please listen. Honestly, I'm doing a lot of work for free for them, but if it means that the tiny scene that I'm a part of gets more love, it's worth it. Next round should be starting soon. We're waiting on Ulrich Wall and Attack Speed Enjoyer. Imagine if they had made baselines for power thresholds. Could have made this so much easier to balance. Yeah, for whatever reason, it seems like the abilities here are really beholden to costing 100 to 200 gold. For whatever reason, CA looks, since the beginning, they looked at the abilities and they're like, okay, what's the power range of abilities that we want? and they made it a 100 gold difference. That's like, imagine if units had to cost between 500 and 1,000 gold, and that's the entire spectrum for unit balance for factions. That would be insane, right? Am I crazy? Oh wait, no, technically, no. My bad. Technically, if you go to the Vampire Coast, right, they do have some abilities that cost 50 gold. Yeah, they save the 50 gold range for actual hot garbage. Why would you even use this? But yeah, aside from that, they have really weird things with this. I'm going to guess there's something, because like every time people have brought up Seafang being OP, they've just nerfed Wulfric. So there's probably something going on that's making it where like they can't change it. I don't see why. But, you know, maybe it's a spaghetti code. Maybe it's some weird internal thing that I'm unaware of. But, like, people are like, Wulfric is OP because of Seafang. They make Wulfric more expensive, and then that's it. There's no more discussion. So, I don't think it's actually going to change. But I do want it to be brought up, so at least they're aware of the issue and how silly it is. Still better way to spend 50 gold than a chevron. Actually debatable, because I think the ability it moves the White King's Scab Scrath to a different hotkey than I'm used to. So if you look at Vampire Coast, right, I think that ability is actually a detriment, unironically. Because this guy, yeah, if you take just Scab Scrath, it's on shift 1, and that's muscle memory for me right now. But because you take this so little, and because you might have 50 gold left over with 2 White Kings, one of them has Scab Scrath, one of them doesn't. So when you select one, you don't know if you have to hit shift 1 or shift 2. And then you get screwed over. So I would say the chevron is actually better for not being a detriment. Kind of crazy though. If they fix line of sight, at least you can kind of spam it and maybe it still pays for itself, I guess. Yeah, you know, if you like the hotkey being on shift 2 though, I would recommend taking bomb throw. That might be a better time save than changing your actual hotkey setup, right? Because like, let's say other factions have their main ability on shift 2, then you would be incentivized to take this. So that the micro is a little bit easier. Could make it a little snappier. 100 gold can't get you that much anyways. That would be my advice. But memes aside, man, I wish abilities were balanced better. Oh man, they're not. You can't even argue that they're balanced around campaign because they're not. Well, okay, technically they're balanced in campaign because people still use buff spells despite them not doing much. Like, obviously the meta in campaign is to blob the AI and then spell spam them. Anyone who's seen any high-level campaign play knows that's what you're supposed to do. But people will totally check out Enfeebling Foe, and it looks cool. And you know what? For a primarily single-player game, if it looks cool and people use it, that's totally fine, actually. It's actually totally fine. For a single player. For multiplayer, it's atrocious, but... You know what? This next patch... Are you ready, guys? Come on. There's no way this patch forsakes us. My big ticket items, man. Big ticket items. You know what? Where's the text box? I actually want to write this down so that I don't forget. DLC checks. Okay, so these are the things. Oops, that's an image. I need a text file. Text. DLC checks. Okay, what do we want? Also, is the next roundup? No, not yet. Font is massive as usual. Scale it down. That should be good. All right, I would like to see spectator update. I want to see Winds of Magic. I want to see gold on field. Let's see here. I want to see healing. value. I think those are the big things. Let's shrink that down a little bit more. Let's move it over here. We got a prime sub. Serwin, thank you so much. 5 months, dang. That's basically, you started a little before I came back. Although it doesn't look like it was 5 months in a row, maybe, so. Regardless, very much appreciated. Other thing I want to see. Magic. Or I want to see a spell update. I want to see ability balancing. I want to see Nurgle and Skaven buffs. I want to see vampire counts. Slanesh. Let's see, what are the other top factions? Obviously, they're not going to get all of this, but if they get 2 of these, I would be amazed. Yeah, we want to see Slanesh, vampire counts, Norsca, wood elves, ogre, nerfs. What else do we want? Yeah, Nurgle buffs is where it's at, man. Nurgle buffs would be so hype. We have never gone a Nurgle meta ever since, like, the launch of Warhammer. Since then, like, ever since they rebalanced the domination ticket system, it's been rough. Oh, hey, we're up against Risotto. Up and coming Kislev player. Yo, yo. I'm Norsca. Hell yeah. Goblins, round 3. Hell yeah. Alrighty. What else do I want? Oh yeah. Leashing fixes. Ranged fixes. Units moving to side. We have units. What's it? Shooting. Cancels. That kind of stuff. Units moving up. Basically, range units moving in any direction. Looks like my opponent is playing vampire counts. How exciting. So let's see who's first ban. It looks like it's me. Ban Lost Temple. Ban and Lost Temple of Sotek. What else do I want from CA? Can someone give me other stuff that I complain about all the time? Turn had a mod built into the map pack that had gold value on field. I don't think it was built into his map pack mod, was it? I think it was a separate mod. I remember being a part of that for a little while, and I remember it as a separate mod. But yeah, I would host tournaments with it long time ago. But the mod wasn't supported much, and then there were a few other issues with it that kind of made it not perfect. There wasn't a lot of adoption of it either from other tournament hosts. So now I'm kind of left with this. Oh dang, ready already. This will be a pretty good one for Berserkers at least. Vampire counts are a little annoying. Obviously you want Burning Head versus counts. Ooh, this might be a good one for Throg though. Throg's pretty hype. Fix the vampire counts in Greenskin music? What do you mean by that? Unit breaking where the commands don't get followed. Already have that. It was a long time ago, yeah. Sacred Proxigor buff? Yo, Flying Talker, they're already meta, aren't they? Aren't they already, like, partially meta? Ooh, is this a match where I want Marauder Javelins? I think it is. Now, I might not want to start with javelins, but as a big old cleanup tool for the later game, that seems like a good idea. Sure, this build seems okay. Don't really need manticores. Fimir are questionable. They're probably still a good idea, though. Skinwolves are way too prone to getting terror routed. Does anyone know if a War Mammoth War Shrine's actually good versus counts? Technically, you can get 20% physical resist, but I think that's probably a little bit too much of a meme. I should just have an SC in case there's a bunch of single entities. And then, yeah, this is probably good enough. Vampire counts are going to be sus for Norsca, but I think we can win this. Give Kroxigor stock. Give them the 360 missile resist that they have in campaign. Crap, did I not have an army blocker? Well, hopefully they weren't stream sniping. What am I missing? What am I missing on this list? I don't think, yeah, I think we got most of it. Those are the big ticket items that I'm kind of looking for. Oh, yeah. Bloat buff. My eyes are so dry. All right. Hydra. All right, yeah. Bloat plus Hydra buff. Should make a bingo board. See a update bingo. Yeah, that's pretty hilarious. Maybe a bit too much work for how busy I am right now. I am almost done editing that video, I swear. It's been a long one. Life has been busy, but we're getting there. Ready. Good luck, have fun. You saw what bloats did to Daniken. They don't need buffs. The confusion strats. The free spot could be no Slanesh nerf. Oh boy. Look, I'm totally fine though. I'm not gonna lie. Usually they're pretty good about fixing absolutely broken units when they launch on the DLC. As much as I complain about CA, if they launch with a completely broken unit in the DLC units, I'm fine with that. It typically gets fixed in 1 or 2 weeks. Nobody cares, right? I have a much bigger issue for the long-term stuff that's gonna stick around for like 50 years. That's a Blood Dragon Lord. Foot White Kings. Holy Black Knight spam. All right. All righty. Now, Berserkers are pretty good. Versus the Cavalry. How do I want to do this? That's a lot of Black Knights. He doesn't have a lot of infantry, at least. 5, 3. We see most of his army, maybe minus Crypt Ghoul. He just Gaze of Nagash me. Fun fact, Gaze of Nagash at far range does not actually have that much accuracy. It tends to miss quite a bit. I guess these Skin Wool or these Ice Wolves are probably enough to bully the Black Knights. He's gonna land here. He can't really afford to land. That would be rather deadly. Zombie Tide's a little slow. And we're gonna get a Fimir. So we just gotta make sure these guys don't hurt me too much. Now, thankfully, these Berserkers have ludicrous mass. So they should be relatively okay. We're just gonna charge the Knights. We're gonna make sure we don't get countercharged. And then I should be okay. Relatively. Gonna do a little bit of damage to my Wolfies there, but it's not too bad. And Berserkers are gonna cook. This is the difference that mass makes, by the way. As you can see, the Berserkers are absolutely clobbering right now. They are taking them to Pound Town. Absolutely. And he's gonna send his Dragon Lord onto my Fimir, which is actually exactly where I want him. So that's not a big issue in the slightest. He gets a Scab Scrath on the Berserkers, but they're not optimal. And okay, I think we're actually relatively in the clear. The big misplay here is the Dragon Lord was a little sus, and he could have gone better Scab Scrath on the Berserkers. Usually want to cast from here, like this far away, so that it can actually hit them properly. But now that he's used it, I can go into melee here, and we should be chilling. Plus his Lord is getting brutalized. His cavalry just don't really fare that well versus my dudes here. We got Fimir in the biz. And then if I just get some solid burning heads down the pipe, then we shouldn't worry. I'm actually surprised at how well the Ice Wolves did versus the Black Knights, by the way. I genuinely did not expect them to do that well. But apparently they're clutch. And now he has a Mortis engine. But it's a little late, right? So if I bring in a Marauder Hunter to kill that Mortis, I should be relatively in the clear. This fight will be a little sus, but Throg is still in good health. We got our crazy Fimir over here. They're going to clutch it out. And all the expensive cavalry is dead. The cavalry builds are less of a stuff 'em up style for the vampire counts. So I'm not too worried about trading ultra fast. I know that we will be able to get enough value here to be fine. Throg's gonna go for the Mortis with the support of the dogs. He's not too worried. Dire Pack should not win versus my Ice Wolves. Ice Wolves are pretty hype. And we can get a pretty solid surround here. Let's just go for it. And now Throg just has to live. Now it's a little sus for the Throggy. How much of a Chad is this guy? We'll see. I'm gonna go with surprisingly more of a Chad than I thought. Throg has taken no hits against a Blood Dragon Lord. Is he janking out right now? There's the hit. All right. It's a little slow though. Throg's doing fine. We massacre the Dire Pack too. And he's still butchering that little Mortis engine. I'm feeling pretty confident. This feels not too bad. Mortis engine is now down. And I think we just had the better build here, right? I think the Black Knights just really didn't do that well versus Norsca. Whoop, dragon's on me. Though, I think if you played safe with the Black Knights and maybe get some rear charges on the Berserkers, it'll be a little bit better. They actually did surprisingly bad. Make Slanesh Chariots usable. Oh my gosh, the Slanesh Chariots. I remember that one being suggested by the land battle people. That's one of the only times we've had agreement between land battle and we had an agree, like land battle and domination agreed with each other, which is very rare for balancing discussions. And I think the chariots did get a minor armor buff, but that's it. It's a little rough. But yeah, I think honestly though, if he did get better Scab Scraths, I think it would have been okay. This build really has to kill off the Berserkers to get the win. So you have to like Dragon Breath one Berserker, Scab Scrath the other Berserker, right? And then you'll have a chance. If you lose your front line before the Mortis engine shows up too, it's a really bad time. And overall, I do think Norsca is decent versus Vampire counts because of the crazy DPS. Value trading? Yeah, value trading's really nice. Technically not better than some of my kite games though. Sometimes we get some absurd kite game value trades. But yeah, the Berserkers just live for way too long. So that's another win. Another victory for us. Very nice. The thing is, if you go main tide, it still doesn't work. You really have to kill the Berserkers. So it's Norsca versus Vampire counts, and a win for us. Zombie summons on the range is really annoying. Yeah, it's very hard to cost efficiently kill them. You just kind of have to accept that most of your range units are not going to be shooting because of zombie summons. Throg and his beautiful new voice. Oh yeah, we got the new Throg VO. He did pretty good. Fimir was just there to clear infantry so that we could kill everything else. Felbats couldn't really do too much, sadly. He did have a Terrorgeist, huh? But yeah, definitely needed some Winds of Death. Fimir did pretty good. Paid for themselves, still at good HP. That's pretty solid. And indeed, Dire Pact. I think Dire Pact are actually pretty weak nowadays. They did get 3v1 though. Got a donation.
End. I have been learning Norsca. Is the Norsca versus Brett matchup winnable? The only thing I have found some success with is a champ, armored skin wolf box.
Let's see here. Champion armored skin wolf box. I honestly have not played it that much, so I can't give you the best advice. I feel like it should be winnable. Have you tried Berserker spam? No, they just get shot to death, right? They would just get shot to death. I do know Bretonia has a lot that can bully Norsca. Let's see. You need something that can actually kill the cavalry. These are your only heavy mass units. So I would say if I was playing Norsca, I would say like Fimir Great Weapons are a really nice pick. What's a bad matchup for Norsca? Apparently Bretonia. I've heard multiple people say that before, but I don't personally know how to play it. But Fimir Great Weapons are really cost efficient nowadays. And I might even just take Fimir Warriors too. Like just take something that's not going to get shot to death and has enough mass. If he goes for like the super elite, you know, like Hippogriff Knights, then you could still try to chunk them down. You can use a Throg. You can use some strong magic. Something like a Fate of Buna's okay into them. I would say probably, though, Final Transmutation. A lot of those mobility builds will blob up to try and route units off one at a time. But having a Final Transmutation in the pocket to stop a big Cav surround is really nice. All mobile Cav factions don't really like Final Transmutation, because they kind of rely on 2v1s with a Lord. So I think, yeah, just a foot transmuter. Probably Throg. Probably Throg. Some builds you might even want the Wintertooth Crown on. You get a whack load of Fimir. And then, yeah, and then you just take 1 point. You camp it out, and then you chill. Fimir just route and get picked off. Well, like that's a problem with positioning. If your anti-large armor sundering Fimir with Final Transmutation support are getting picked off, something's gone horribly wrong with your positioning. In theory, 2 stacked Fimir with Final Transmutation should be near unkillable. The bigger issue is like, how do you capture 2 points, right? And for that, you need a bit of finesse. You basically have to... I played this matchup once before, so like I know some of the pick-off strats that they go for. But you gotta get these guys. You gotta camp 1 point, and then at the point right before you need a triple cap to win, you get your second point. And then you just camp those 2 points with a fairly large army for the rest of the fight. And you'll be in an okay position. I would actually recommend a War Mammoth War Shrine, by the way. Yeah, I would probably do something like this, actually. War Shrines are great because they give +10 leadership. So your guys are not going to rout. Physical resist is not that important, but vigor is great. So that'll stop the leadership from breaking. And you have a pretty solid blobberino there. You can secure points with Ice Wolves or even Axe Throwers in the late game, as they can skirmish away from any chasing Bretonnians, mostly anyways. And they have quite a bit of capture weight for the gold that you spend. And yeah, I feel like with the War Shrine and the Wintertooth Crown, you're doing good. Against an infantry style of Bretonnia, you should just be able to fight them. Especially if you just like spam Marauders in reserve. You still have a Mammoth, you know. I don't think this is like the best build ever, but I think it gets you there. I think this is probably enough. Ooh, maybe even some dogs to chase off archers in the late game. I've been liking dogs more ever since playing Vampire Coast. But yeah, the Mammoth is crazy. War Shrines are actually pretty solid, and it's a source of terror. So against most Bretonnians, you're just going to break them off. Think about the leadership boost, right? You have 10 leadership, which gets these guys to 80. Then they have the Lord nearby encouraging them. And you have Wintertooth Crown. So that's 24 seconds of Unbreakable. On top of, at the very least, base 80 leadership, perfect vigor. They're not gonna rout, right? Like, they'll basically fight to the last. That's like Longbeard level of leadership. Immune to fear, because they cause fear. And I think that's your best bet. Against a good Bretonnian player, you'll probably still lose on tickets, because they can threaten your units. But like, that's what you should do first and foremost. You need an army that's not going to die, right? So as a baseline, this won't die. From what I've played on, basically, you know, if you have 1 point over here and 1 point over here, right? I would position my army in the middle. And then kind of just move them between both points as a blob and capture them. And Bretonnian cavalry is just a little too slow to retake the points faster than you're securing them, especially once your army gets a bit bigger. And then you get a nice little positioning battle. Also, don't worry about taking like a Skinwolf Werekin either. You can get some work done if you don't want to spam dogs. And then at some point your army gets so big that, like, if your Shaman Sorcerer is between both armies and both armies are on the separate points, then he can kind of cover both with Final Transmutation. He's also not worth sniping. He's on foot. You just resummon him. But yeah, don't get caught out of position. If you're playing the matchup, I want you to lose on tickets. If your army gets wiped, that's a you problem. First and foremost, your army should never get wiped. This build seems like such a meme. It is a little memey. But yeah, I love it whenever Turin is casting my games. He sees my build, and it just looks like it doesn't make any sense. That's always very fun. It's sad that Vampire Counts and Vampire Coasts don't really let me experiment, though. Norsca does have some of the best doggos. Yo, these Norsca and Ice Wolves beat Black Knights. That's pretty crazy. The unit costs 950. This costs 600. And they slow. Good thing IRL you can't micro dogs like you can in RTS. Yeah, it's kind of weird that they just have perfect micro. I don't know who's telepathically communicating to them. Hey, maybe there's like a beast sorcerer, you know? Just, yeah, talking to him. Yo, Norsca doesn't have lore of beasts. Kind of crazy. Feel like they should. How good are these blobs against cheap archers? It's okay because you have shields and missile resist. But eventually you're going to need to get dogs to charge them. Thankfully, the frontline fight is pretty easily winnable with these guys. I don't think there's much in the Bretonnian roster that can survive a mammoth charge. At least on the infantry roster. You got whipped 3 times today. It happens. It's a new season, so a lot of high-level players are signing up for tournaments to try and get tournament wins. So it happens, man. You need to play Warhammer like Team Fortress 2, where there's no matchmaking. You just hop in a lobby, get shot to death, maybe you get a couple kills, right? And then you get better from there. This is not like your usual matchmaking game. You just have to watch the progress. The best part, though, is that you can actually see your progress. Because you go from a really low percentage chance to win to almost 95%, like me, right? You know? I started out with the 5% win rate like everyone else. Which, by the way, we are still maintaining. I am at 95.5, crushing it. Yeah, and you're not, well, there's no smurfing because everyone's facing each other, which is basically smurfing, but anyways. Also, yeah, new player tournaments are not bad. My tournaments are open to everyone, unless specifically stated that they're new player tournaments. So you get some pretty big players, but new player tournaments, there's actually a pretty good stream of new players getting into the scene. Now, a lot of them have already played a lot of multiplayer just on ladder. But I would recommend it. 5% is generous. I think if you're getting less than 5%, you probably need a good build. You probably just need a base build to help carry you. If you are having a difficult time and you don't know how to improve, one, just message me on Discord. Or you can pay for coaching. Coaching's kind of expensive though. So message me on Discord, that's free. I love talking about Warhammer. You can send me your builds, ask about whatever you need to improve on. But just take 3 Wrathmongers and max Chaos Warrior of Khorne. If you straight up do this, all right, you will win games. I would bet that I can win a ladder match blindfolded with this build, okay? It is so stupidly easy to win with Wrathmongers. Now, it would take me a few tries, but like I might even try that. I might try a blindfolded win. Seriously though, as long as I can get 1 attack command on them after group locking my units, we're basically fine. I would have to find the reinforcement point though. Try it, you won't. Nice stream idea. Yo, I think you can do it. There's a hotkey to select reinforcement points, right? So I would use the hotkey. I need to find how to actually reinforce them. I don't know like where my mouse is, and I have multiple monitors. I'd have to lock it on one screen. But if I can get 1 attack command, it's over for my opponent. All right. Why don't you take that the next time we play Slaanesh? Well, we're talking about new players here, all right, Vogeai? I think you're veteran enough to to beat my new player build. Especially if you're playing Slanesh of all factions. But yeah, you just do this. Or I can just hit Control A and use the up arrow key to move the army up. Okay, yeah, I guess I don't need to summon units, right? Anyways, I think I could get a higher than 5% win rate with this. I got a DM, hell yeah. They want to build for Nurgle. They want to build for Nurgle. Oh crap, wait, no, it's Nurgle. Why Nurgle? Yeah, if you're a new player and you're playing Nurgle, only play them if you're willing to accept a very low win rate. But if you want the basics, Tamarkon on foot so that he doesn't die. Then you get a caster on foot so that he doesn't die. You will then take Spirit Leech. It's foolproof. Spirit Leech your lord as much as you can. From there, you take a bunch of Chaos Warriors, a whack load of Pestigors. Actually, yeah, this is actually kind of a hype Nurgle build. Yeah, so you take a bunch of Pestigors, you have a bunch of infantry. You're gonna take the Rotting Riders as your one cavalry unit to micro. That should be fairly chill for a new player, right? And then you will have... I don't trust them to use Furies, right? You know what? Keep it simple. Keep it extraordinarily simple, alright? I guarantee you, if you run this build enough times, if you run this build enough times in multiplayer, you will win. Alright? Just don't blob your infantry. That's the only thing I ask you to do. Don't blob your infantry, and this is like the easiest win ever, okay? You just walk forwards. Just walk forwards and don't blob. It's that simple. Most builds will not be efficient enough to beat the raw base efficiency of infantry. You'll be fine. Brings one gyrocopter, dude. On the ladder, nobody's microing the gyrocopter well enough to kill this, okay? Nobody's good enough. Hell, maybe I'll win with this blindfolded. I don't know. I should actually try after the next match to try and win a ladder game blindfolded. That sounds like it would be pretty funny. That sounds like it would be pretty hilarious. Will this work versus three-way watchers? On ladder, yeah. I'm telling you guys, people on ladder suck at getting the DPS in to kill this much infantry. Just walk forwards and capture the points. That's all you gotta do. If you're feeling up to it, you can use some Furies. But most people will YOLO them way too aggressively and they downtrade. So just do this. Just do this. Yeah, you can pull it off in land battle. Ladder is like 60% tournament players. I've played ladder, man. I've played ladder. I feel like they're scrub lords, but even if they are tournament players, man, look, most tournament players are pretty new anyways. I don't know. Every time I see a ladder build, it does not hold up to this. There's no way. All right. Look, if I get a win blindfolded, there's literally no excuses. I cannot handicap myself more than that. There's no way you play worse than me blindfolded. Okay, navigator. Yo. I'm Norsca. The thing is, we do need to get a good map. I will need to deploy my army maybe, but we'll see if I can get away with even that. This actually might take a while. This might take a little while. We'll see. I'm rethinking my claims. I think I could probably, maybe not in 20 games. Give it, actually no, 20 games is a lot. 20 games is a lot. I don't know. We'll see. Full blindfolded. Ladder is 60% tournament players and 100% scrub lords. Oof. I guess that's basically what I'm saying. Okay, look, it's fine though. It's fine. Just get a good build. Just melee rush them. I swear, most people that are getting into multiplayer, look at the difference in cost, right? They're like, ooh, a caster lord, and they get so excited. They're like, I'll give him a nice mount. I'll give him purple sun for infantry, Buna for cavalry. Life leeching is good. That gives me magic, right? And then missile resist, because Nurgle needs missile resist. You're 1,000 gold down. Suddenly you're down like an entire unit of infantry on basically fluff, right? That's not going to improve his capabilities that much. Like, yes, Tamarkon on like a giant mount, and then like give him his abilities. 2,200 gold down. Your army of 10 units goes down to like 6. Okay, maybe not 10 units, but you know what I mean. You lose out on 3 whole units of infantry for not a lot. Navigator's playing Greenskins. Okay. Anyways, after the tournament and between rounds, okay, I'll show you guys how easy it is to win, and then I'll turn it into a video. So Greenskins, how do I want to face them? Obviously we're gonna have max berserkerage. Blindfold Bretonia build, please. Okay, yeah, Bretonia is a little harder to play, but yeah, if I'm full blindfolded, I should be able to control. All I have to do is hit Control A and then hit forwards with my army. And then it'll probably be good enough. The thing is, I don't get any summons. Like, finding the summons button is gonna be the hard part. And everyone's gonna be move commanded, which is pretty bad. But maybe with infantry, it's not that bad. Bance Changers, Madhouse. Glinty Toofs is not bad. Let's play Glinty. So he's playing Greenskins. Greenskins have some pretty spooky monsterage action that we will have to face off against. Maybe some Arachnaroks, who knows? Wolfric doesn't really face Arachnaroks super well. We do know the weakness of the Greenskins, though. It is Burning Head. And I have 200 gold left over. I have 550 gold left over. I could just take a javelin. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Might as well. Get that anti-large for Arachnaroks and Trolls. Actually, it could be really good versus Trolls. So why not? Then the huge, a bunch of ice wolves, some skin wolves. Do I need anything else? 2 axe throwers just in case. I want a melee rush though. Melee rush is where it's at. The true Unga Bunga strat. Double Manticore is pretty standard. Skin wolves are really good versus Greenskins, right? Last time I was playing on the other side of the matchup, I found Skin Wolves pretty annoying to deal with. So maybe we just go hard on that. Oh, it's a 0 spend. Nice. Double 0 spend. Mr. Bless. Alright, don't make it weird, man. Searing Doom is better in this matchup for you. Searing Doom. I like never use that spell. Run Searing Doom on ladder. That'd be pretty jokes. Doom and Darkness with Lord Snipe. A little too complicated. Norsca's stronger when you keep it simple anyways. Do you successfully do the Imrik Nagashazar rush? Unfortunately not. We couldn't find the spicy cheese for it. Greenskins versus Norsca, the thinking man's matchup. I would say Greenskins think more than Norskins. I feel like they debate more about Gork and Mork, right? I feel like Norskins are in too much of a bubble, you know? Ladder game with 1 reinforcement when? That sounds difficult. Honestly, my blindfolded game might get me there. I need to keep there's a few things I gotta do to actually like make it better. Because like I can't summon units. There's a little bit of a problem that I can't summon units. There's some ways I can tell where my cursor is. But I have 2 monitors. It's actually very easy for me to get the cursor lost. Like if it goes to the side, we're kind of screwed, right? I also don't want to accidentally close OBS. That would be bad. That would actually be quite bad. I don't want to close OBS. What if I like start sharing some terrible stuff? Not that I have terrible stuff on my screen, but like I don't want to dox myself, you know. Ready, good luck, have fun. So how many skirmishers is he gonna have? He could potentially skirmish these guys quite a bit. Make my life difficult. Where do I want the terror Fimir? Probably the middle to surprise push the low ground. He's gone quite wide. Savage orcs. Whoa. Swamp things. The paunch. Alright, old school. And here we go. He has some archers. It's mostly infantry though. So I think we're sitting pretty comfy. I don't really want axe throwers. You benefit a lot from just getting a ton of dudes. And he doesn't have something that can snipe a manticore, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, Marathi background confirmed. I think, yeah, maybe not blindfolded, but I think I will do minimal attack orders and decision making. Surely that's fair, right? Keep it from the foe. Keep it from the foe. All right, I think I do want skirmishers here, though. Can't let them take this for free, right? Norscan bad matchups. Chaos Dwarves because of Fireborn. I don't know if Fireborn are actually that much of a menace for Norsca. I feel like almost all their matchups are quite playable. But I'm no Norscan main, so I really wouldn't be able to tell you that much. But yeah, we're just gonna contest some points. Most of his army's over here. That makes things a little awkward for him. Got our axe throwers over here, away from his archers, which is pretty pleasant. We got the high ground cap point. And he gets the acid burpa over here. All right. I think we'll be fine, though. He's going to get a couple shots here, but if I capture this point, that's already a fairly nice situation for us. We're strong over here. He can't really take an easy fight. Nope, missed my burning head opportunity. Maybe. But yeah, as long as we keep skirmishing here. Maintain the double cap. Maybe even chase down some archers if we're lucky. He may be not ready for this. I feel like we're definitely way stronger here. So I'm just going to commit my forces to this. Just go super hard on that big push. And yeah, he's just pulling away. He does not want any of that heat. Should be a pretty good boat too. Gets a lot of units. We're gonna run away from the giant squig. He summons in some cav, not a big deal. And we're still skirmishing here. We got our javelins, they're popping off. Might be able to kill the giant squig. He gets a pretty good buff spell there. But if I terror out these guys, it's all for naught. Holy savage orc melting. That's pretty bad. See, that's why buff spells are not exactly the best. We have countered buff spells with damage spells. The myths were true. Alright, so now we can just go for these archers. I have the double dog here. He's taking a ton of skirmish damage that he's probably not too happy about. I'd say things are going pretty well. Value trading is good. We're gonna bully the giant squig just a little bit while we get our doggos in here. And then we can start taking these fights. Because he really doesn't have that much here. Grom is kind of out of position too. Let's pull the dogs away. Why are these guys hotkeyed like so? That's not the smartest thing ever. Alright. I'm just gonna run away from these horsemen. His cavalry. Get him out of here. These berserkers will do fine. They're chilling in a melee fight. What else could they want more? And his archers we can just beat up. Javelins are finding a fairly good target. I think everything's in a everything's in a fairly good fight for me. No real complaints. I kind of have everything where I need it to be. And with the Manticore coming up soon, this is looking oh so favored for us. This is looking extremely favored for us. I think the only thing that could go wrong right now is I lose Wulfric or something. His archers get out of there, but they've been distracted so long, it's not a big deal. He's gonna leadership, or no, he's gonna Fist of Gork his cavalry. So I will counter it by killing his cavalry. Oh no, oh no, oh, not the Fist of Gork. Oh, it's so terrifying. It's almost like it's not that great. Jeez Louise. Now for Greenskins that actually is good, but when you're really on point about shutting it down, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. Fist of Gork completely shut down with the power of murder. We've been really on point with these spell casts. I'm gonna compliment myself, why not? Seriously though, that was disappointing. I don't know if his spells have done anything, because every time he casts it, he literally just eats a burning head. It's pretty brutal. Then maybe we can route off some savage orcs here. The value trading is ludicrously in our advantage now. And then if we kill Grom the Paunch, then it will become even more ludicrous. My berserkers do not care about things like cavalry charges. Look at that mass. Very little damage. They stand their ground. Great counter charge. Everything's dead. Grom the Paunch too. And now we can summon the Skin Wolves. Huzzah! The morale system is so much more impactful than older games. I never played the older games, so I actually don't have anything to compare against. But yeah, that was disgusting. That was disgusting. Berserker Max! Berserker Max wins the day. In the end, his infantry was just a little too susceptible to spellcasting, sadly. I think he kind of had a rough build against ours. Probably would have been good against skirmishers, I think. Ice Wolves are amazing as always. And then he has, he has a giant squig. He just kind of got surrounded. Brutal. All right. Well, that's 4-0. Our Norsca game's going pretty well. And then now we're gonna queue on ladder. We're gonna queue on ladder. So I have to disable my mod for this, but I think I can get this done before before yeah, before we get into the game. Before we get into top 4. Alright. Welcome to the Anticity tutorial on how to win ladder games with no micro. Norscan mains, all 2 of them. I think most people dabble in Norsca. We don't actually have like a proper main. Except for maybe Boss Toss. Are Berserkers just cavalry? Yeah, they have stupid high mass. I don't know what's up with them. But they have like double the mass of your usual infantry unit. So you can just kind of YOLO them. Now, can we actually find a match? That's the real thing. Till I get sniped by like a mid-level tournament player, just get absolutely wrecked. That's what happens to you guys though, right? Berserkers are secretly dwarves. Yeah, they weigh more than miners. It's crazy. I think they weigh as much as like mid-tier dwarf infantry. Insane. Blackguard having like what, 140 mass or something? So sad. Yeah, win with as little APM as possible. And decision making. Man, nobody on ladder. You guys can find ladder matches? You guys are crazy. Maybe it's because the tournament's going on right now. Maybe you're right. It is all tournament players on ladder. Oh, no, I do have the mod on. I thought I disabled it. I'm a fool. I'm a fool. Max 10 mouse clicks. Yeah, I didn't disable the mod. That's my beat. I feel like a big hairy Viking guy would weigh a bit more than the dwarf. Yeah, he weighs more than a marauder, man. He weighs more than his cousin. All right? Something about being a berserker means you are 80% heavier. I don't know what's up. All right, now the mod's disabled. Yeah, you can't matchmake with the 12 Tavern map pack. There we go. That makes a lot more sense. All right. And who are we matching against? All right, Boss Nova, right? So that's clearly just some random new player, right? What? Oh crap! Should just spam Khorne Gores. Okay, nice. It's on Itza. Oh wait. All right, let's lock in the race so we know what faction we're dealing with. All right, Greenskins. Actually, the build should technically be fine against all builds. All right. Yeah, I think if you're playing Khorne, you can probably get away with just like... Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Just spam Chosen. I don't care, right? All right. So you're ready up and then unready to show that he's done, but we're not rushing him. Can we do it? Can it be done? How difficult will it be to win a ladder game? I do actually need to get a snack anyways. Okay, what if I set my army to attack his? and capture the points, right? And then I grab a snack. And then we come back. What's the least amount of micro I need to win this? There's no way he wins this, right? Against the triple Wrathmonger? There's no way. Rushing him seems like a Khorne thing to do. Technically, if I'm gonna go AFK, I should probably capture the points first. Okay, maybe I'll rush him, send 2 units of the capture points, and then grab a snack. Get some milk, and then we'll come back. Okay, nice. He set his faction, so he's probably done soon. I'll get some milk, and then we'll prove to you guys that it is not hard to win a ladder match. All right. Ladder matches are chill. And you know what? If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Make a poll who wins. Start a poll. Who wins? Ent. Not Ent. / poll. Who wins? Ent. Not Ent. Alright. So just gonna put these guys in the middle. Put the Khorne Gores to get that point. And this guy to get that point. Alright. Alright. Take a look at this. I'm gonna group lock them like so. We're gonna click start battle. Oh man, I wonder if we win with this, that would be hilarious. Now I'm actually wondering. I feel like we'll probably do fine though. It's just Greenskins. All right, so then you give the attack command, right? Oh my god, they're so slow because they're keeping pace with the Khorne Gores. You know what? Whatever, it's fine. All right, and you move a Khorne Gore onto this point and shove them off. And then you go AFK for a bit. Ooh, alright.
We have a victory point.
Alright.
Keep it from the foe.
I will capture this point though. I kind of want that point. Imagine he's watching the stream. That'd be pretty brutal. So we got the middle point. That's good. He has to kill 3 Wrathmongers though. That's kind of rough. Come on, you got this, Greenskin player. You got this, I believe. I believe. I believe. Here, we'll get some spectator views going. Look at those Wrathmongers, they're cooking. It's like we're watching a replay, but we're actually playing the battle. Great success. Oh, he summoned some spiders, look at them. They're a little yellow. What's killing the Wrathmongers? He has like 3 archers shooting them at the same time. It's fine though. I don't need to do more. I can wait a little bit before we actually bring in like the Chosen and such. Finally, the cinematic experience we've been waiting for. Now, spells are kind of complicated. I don't know if I want to use those just yet. Spells are a little complicated. I feel like that would be pretty rough for most players to handle. So I'm just not going to use spells for now. Khorne Gores are holding well. Look at that. He gets a net. Gets a net on my Bloodwake Berserkers. Look at these guys though. Huzzah. Routed off some goblins. That's actually pretty nice. Savage big guns are going to eventually win this though. It's probably fine though. We are seeing a lot of breaks on his lines. That's actually quite nice. We haven't done anything more than summon a Khorne on the flank, by the way. For anyone who's talking about my micro here, all right, my crazy micro. I'll just let these guys walk into the orc boys. They'll win anyways. He might get this though. Can he defeat the Wrathmongers? If they aggro into his archers through his routing units, he's pretty screwed, right? I don't want to de-summon these guys. That sounds like it'd be too much micro, I think. I think it would be too much micro to de-summon these guys. Let's not. Let's actually see how, let's see how this goes. We still haven't given any commands. We're chilling. He's triple capped. I think I probably have to summon, yeah, I'll probably have to summon these guys and get them on the point. That's 2 more clicks. That's 2 more clicks. Admittedly, that is actually quite a bit. No one can defeat the Wrathmongers. Yeah, they're chilling, man. They will die eventually, though. But I think the next summon of Wrathmongers is going to hurt my opponent quite a bit. Yeah, he actually has a pretty nice value diff. Wrathmongers are chasing these guys off, though. He's not pushing the points very effectively. Most players are typically a little bad at actually pushing points. Gets a squig. I'm not going to give an attack command or anything. Now, I could end him right now by just Sword of Khorning here. If I do that, I'm pretty sure it's totally over, but we'll see how it pans out. Chosen will have the high ground soon. They will out-capture away the Savage Orcs as soon as they actually get there. What is that positioning? They should be positioned like that. Maybe that's a little bit too much micro, though. Mayhaps it is too much micro. Khorngors are chilling here. They have the far point. It's a little tense. He might actually kill my lord here. Excuse me, with the giant squig. I think he might barely come out on top. I do have a lot of tickets, though. And then when I resummon the Wrathmongers, I really wonder if he'll have enough DACA to actually kill them. Yeah, no boar boys. Oh, he netted them. Right before they got to the point. That's actually pretty sus. He might win this. He might win this. Yeah, a little slow on the point, though. Oh my god. What the crap? Dude, what was that Gaze of Mork? Bro, this guy's actually a god. Yo, that was a crazy play. Yo, look at this guy. Holy. That was actually an insane play. Crazy. Oh my god. Maybe these guys are insane. I might actually have to summon units. We'll see, though. We'll see. I feel like the next Wrathmonger summons could still end him here. We also have a fairly nice ticket lead. Most of his archers have run out of ammo. I might actually have to micro some Wrathmongers, though. We'll see. We'll see. Really depends on how the Colossal Squig does. I'll have 2 Wrathmongers, though. Yeah, that was pretty slick. That was quite smooth. I might also have to use a Blade of Khorne at some point. But maybe we'll save that for the late game. So, yeah, he is going to actually defend this point, too. Brutal. I'm also without my lord. I think he routed off somewhere.
No.
Okay, now he's killed my lord. Okay. I can resummon him a bit later, though. I could hunker down on this point. We do actually win on quite a few points. I might still be able to pull this back with Wrathmongers. It really depends on how good his archer play is. We were pretty bad about shutting down the archers. So he's going to kill this. He's going to move here. I think we summon in the Wrathmongers onto this point. I will need a little bit more micro, though. Admittedly, I will need a little bit more micro. But here's the play. I'm just going to resummon the Wrathmongers, and I think that might end him. With no micro, it'd be a little sus. We'll see, though. How's the bracket going, by the way? Still going, so we have time. He's going to boast that he beat me. Well, he actually shut down the Wrathmongers pretty well. Showing that you do actually have to be able to jump the range units. Good to know, good to know. And then we're going to have to actually re-secure some points. Now, I think one Khorne gore on the high ground is probably enough to steal the high ground. I'm just gonna be lazy though and summon a Wrathmonger to simulate low APM play of players. I think he wins this though. I think I have to get a little bit more APM. Is this salvageable though? I'm not gonna desummon. I just want to see if these Wrathmongers cook. I think technically, if he does this right with the squigs, it might be a little sus. I'm not gonna countercharge because a lot of people don't get that. He might win though. He might win. We may be proven wrong. I do have a Blade of Khorne though. I've fallen. I've fallen. I had to do it. I think this is one of the only ways you can actually win though, because if the archers are there shooting up my guys all game, it's kind of bad. How did that not break their leadership? That's really weird. Somehow their leadership is actually still really good. Yo, I think he might win this. He might win this. Dang. Yo, he's actually making some pretty sick plays. How'd they not route? Bro, this is the craziest orc archer boys I've ever seen in my life. Dang, man. All right, you might need a little bit more APM. Dang it. I did say you would win 1 in 20 games, though, and we haven't actually gone there yet. Yo, them holding, though, is insane. I can't believe they actually held. That's crazy. Look at him. He's routing off the Wrathmongers. I guess Khorne sucks. Yeah, the Gaze of Mork takedowns. Yo, he's actually using some supreme tech. Look at the value on Warzag. All right, can we take the high ground, though? I do have Wrathmongers here. Let's just grab these guys and charge into melee. Dang, you routed them off. Let's take a look. Okay, we're still waiting on a couple more matches to finish. Better than an average ladder player. This game's actually reasonably close. If it wasn't for Warzag getting such crazy shots, this would actually be pretty decent for us. But he's getting some pretty crazy Warzag shots. Can I win with the Chosen here? He's just gonna Warzag it, right? This guy's been getting insane shots. Let's take a look. Yeah, look at it. He's doing the lineups, man. What is this guy? Yeah, look at him go. I guess this is only game 1, though. I will try multiple games. I think we could get a 1 in 10 with this Khorne build, minimal micro. Yeah, look at that. That's crazy tech. I didn't know you could do that. I'm actually learning something new. Yo, Warzag's crazy. Crazy value. Oh my god, that's like 500 gold per shot. Insane. We actually learned some new tech. All right. Anyways, it's pretty GG at this point. In the early game, if I split properly, though, I think we would have gone. Yo, that's crazy, though. Warzag tech. Okay, everything else did not do that well, actually, all things considered. It was fairly close, though. I feel like if you got the archer jumps, it probably still would have been a win. Showed it off on Discord a while back. It deletes Wrathmongers when overcast. Oh. Dang. Okay, this guy did pretty well. I guess I did some of them twice, though. Alright, I still have 9 lives, though. We have 9 lives. It's true, though. You actually have people that kind of know basic tech when it comes to ladder games. Dang, that's crazy though. I should do a greenskin Warzag kite. You do definitely need the right map for it though. But I guess it's just flat enough. Crazy sauce. You also have to be able to get to the flank, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, the early gazes killing the Wrathmongers. You don't think it was that close? I think it depends on your definition, right? So like obviously I need to make more plays. I think if I got, there were a few times when his archers were really exposed to my infantry, and if I just right clicked his archers, I think the Wrathmongers would have been fine. And I think if I split the Wrathmongers up, then he wouldn't have gone such a crazy early shot. But that is more sophisticated play. Let's see here. Flying Taco is versus Maverick Sloth. Maverick Sloth. Okay, yeah, the winner will be trying to get in here. I might need to do a tiebreaker followed by a top 8 to actually increase the tournament length a little bit. We might need to do, I don't know, there's so many signups. I want everyone here to have a chance of making it. But how do I get top 4 effectively? Because let's look. How many players have 3 wins? The signups are actually insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so I might need to... I don't want to cut a guy. I guess, okay, no, I know what we can do. Yeah, okay. We can start setting up tiebreakers soon. But basically, I'll just be like a top 8. Shouldn't be much longer than usual. You don't think the A move thing is going to beat many players? I think you will win at least 10% of the games. I saw some messages on my Discord that someone was getting an only 5% win rate. And I'm pretty sure you can get a higher than 5% with just A moving. But I need to put my money where my mouth is. So I will legitimately try to test it. The poll closed after the battle finished. Yeah, I forgot to close the poll earlier, but such is life. But yeah, if I can achieve a 10% win rate with super basic micro, I'm happy. Maybe not maybe not blindfolded though. We'll see. Alright, is Flying Taco done? No, they're still facing off. 5%, a boy could dream. Yeah, this is like completely new player, by the way. So 5% on ladder. Would A moving work if you don't have Wrathmongers? Yeah, there's some armor max builds that do pretty well just A moving. Like basically take your 800 gold armor unit and just spam that and A move. And it will make up for most of the inefficiencies that that you have microing cavalry and single entities. And take like a super cheap lord. And then you're probably gonna win. Yeah, you can join a clan too, but I want to make a point that you can kind of just win with really, really basic armies. Like, I think just getting a good build will get you there. At least 10%. If I play 10 ladder matches and I win 2, that's a 20% win rate. That's significantly more than what people are saying. It depends on when you play. Sometimes you have days where you run into no one but top 30 players. Dang, that's crazy. When's the best time then? What are the deets? But yeah, I might try like a Nurgle A move build or like a Warriors of Chaos A move build. Probably shouldn't A move my Lord either. I think I'll just keep them back. Or get Sigvald actually. Sigvald might be worth. Play during a tournament so you don't run into players. Not a terrible idea. All right, so tiebreaker time. All righty. Tiebreakers. I forgot to announce round 4. That's my bad. So let's take a look. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people that need to be doing tiebreakers. Left is top bracket. Okay, nice. So Maverick Sloth is dropping. So that means it's just 8 players instead of 9. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so the left side is top bracket. At Scrambled Egg Special is going to be verse Stallion. We have Anticity, who's going to be versus Son of Heaven. Son of Heaven. We have Navigator versus Maverick Sloth, but no, they dropped. It's actually attack speed Enjoyer. And then we're going to have at Ezir versus Boss Toss. For any drops, you just take the win. And let me know. All right, top 4 tiebreakers have begun, and we're up against Son of Heaven. Yo, yo, I'm Norsca. All right, let's see this. Let's see this. Speaking of clans, gotta pull some of your clan mates into Dom, new season and all. I don't think ODM's that interested in domination, sadly. You have a replay folder full of replays of the biggest of scaries on ladder. You unironically have a better win rate versus tournament players than the ladder heroes. Really? Well, I guess when you play a tournament, you get matched into lower ranked people, right? How often do you run into them though, right? Surely 2 out of 10 games, or 1 in 5, you run into like a complete noob, right? From my experience playing ladder, you run into like a complete noob fairly often. Like I remember my ladder streams. There's usually like, you know, you run into a guy that's pretty fresh and you can just run over them. We shall see. We shall see. And now are we gonna get our opponent? We wait. You think what Meaty said about time slots is true, huh? On ladder, usually you run into the same people over and over again. So if you get a tournament player, you'll probably see them a lot. That's true. If there's some like hardcore tournament people in your time slot, maybe that's what that does it. We'll see though. I still want to test it out. Sometimes the opponent presses ready as soon as the factions are revealed. So usually you can just save a pre-build for those. Most people that do that are not going to play super well either. But it is pretty broken. Like 60 seconds to make your army is pretty low as far as army buildings go. Flying Taco, you say when you play it's like 9 noobs for every 1 tournament player? Oh, okay. How many of those noobs can you beat with very minimal micro and a good build? Also, is my opponent gonna message back? Come on, son of heaven. Message me. Yeah, insta-lockers are always scrubs. It's like the corner camping guy from Warhammer 2. There's a guy called like Corner Camp Master or something. And we crushed him every time, even though he corner camped. Because he didn't know what he was doing. And you can just route him off the map anyways. Yeah, at least land battle, once you load in, it's not as bad. It's the pre-game that kind of sucks. I should check his faction, by the way. So, Son of Heaven is playing Khorne. Ooh, Khorne versus Norsca. I really want to kite Khorne, but I feel like the Berserkers can actually cook pretty hard here. Fimir probably can't kill Wrathmongers. The DPS just isn't there. To Berserker Max, you need to play Kislev? Wait, what in Kislev has Berserkers? Maybe they should add casual / unranked queue for longer timers. So that's just playing tournaments. And also you'd have people smurf anyways, probably. And also splitting the queue would do terrible things to the ladder. No one would be able to find games. Yeah, Master Corner Camp. Oh my god, he played so much. You had a stream where you played chess while fighting him? Hell yeah. Berserker? Oh no. Of course someone named Hyperlisk is gonna make that pun. But yeah, Norsca versus Khorne. I just gotta make sure my skin wolves don't die. If he doesn't respond to me in 15 minutes though, we're just gonna have to move on. Might as well. I guess I might as well finalize the tournament, advance the top 4, and we'll go from there. Also, yeah, you can also dodge people on ladder, so at least there's that. Okay. Tuesday Swiss top 4. Son of Heaven might actually not be familiar with my format, by the way. But if you don't play it, if you don't read the rules, then sometimes you miss out. But this format is quite forgiving. It makes it where as long as you don't lose twice, you will be guaranteed to make it to semifinals. It makes it quite comfortable. Homesick from work. Okay, nice. We finally got someone to contact Son of Heaven. They will be in 5 minutes. Yeah, they weren't aware of the tiebreaker shenanigans. Nice. All right. So that means we got to cook versus Khorne then. Ooh. All right. Skollandier's Cave, Proving Grounds, and Chateau. I'll ban Chateau. That should be pretty nice. Actually, no, I won't ban Chateau. I'm gonna ban Proving Grounds. Alright, how do you face Khorne? the Marauder Horseman kite is like the standard. I'm trying to practice non-horseman kite shenanigans though. Magic wise, obviously Khorne is resistant to all forms of magic. Actually, not all forms. Technically, debuffs are at full capacity against them. I guess, what's it? Is there a, I could bring Final Transmutation. That's not the worst versus Khorne. They usually have some pretty expensive stuff. No Amber Spears versus Elite Infantry. Norsca actually doesn't really have a missile spell outside of like Fireball, but I don't think that does too well. You can gamble. Is he going armored or unarmored? I think Final Transmutation's a safe enough bet. Does a lot of damage and breaks up a blob fight. And then you need a strong melee force. You definitely gotta have some way to kill Wrathmongers though. Now I could fight everything but the Wrathmongers, and when they're the only unit left, surround them with my troops and get them killed. That's an okay way to deal with them. I'm honestly not looking forward to fighting Khorne that much though. If I'm forced to take Berserkers, I feel like we're gonna get cooked. Skin Wolves can be risky too. They're still probably worth taking, but the high fire damage is a little sus. Ice Wolves are chill though. Pun not intended. But they'll do pretty well into Fleshhounds, as they are basically just Fleshhounds. So I can take one of these and one of these. I have pretty strong front line. Yeah, this will probably do. On Total Tavern, it says Scrambled is playing Ezir. They should be... They are playing tie breakers right now. There we go. Tiebreaker format is still new and not widely adopted yet. So a lot of people are unfamiliar with it actually. Norsca doesn't get Lore of Beasts. They're like half beast. Yeah, I'm surprised too. All right, and we have our opponent. He wants to play Rock Fort. I have my army. Rock Fort is pretty bad for skull cannons, by the way, which is why we left that one open. So that should actually make it kind of sus for Khorne, right? In theory, it should be all right. Hopefully don't get knocked out. If we do though, we'll get to spectate some fun games. What's the Lord choice today? Wolfric most of the time. We did run a Throg, I think. Did I run a Throg yet? No, right? I think I just had him in one of the builds for Petonia. But yeah. Mostly Wolfric. Norsca usually doesn't need an SC fighter like Throg. If there's a matchup where I feel like Throg is good, I'll run him though. Probably not versus Khorne, because of that fire amplification. Yeah, Wolfric like 90% of the time. Yeah, I had Throg versus Vampire counts. Oh, okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, Throg was pretty good there. For the lady. Are you doing this because of the new Marauders for Old World being announced? No. Didn't even know that was a thing. Nah, we're just doing it because I want to practice with Norsca, specifically their non-kite playstyles, and see how it feels. So far, it feels quite good. Wolfric on a Mammoth. Generally, I see that as a liability. He doesn't do that well on a Mammoth. They actually look cool, the new Marauders. What's it called? Marauders for Old World. Old World Marauders. Images. Holy crap. Dang, son. Alright, yeah, that's pretty hype. I'm not gonna bring it up on screen. Too much work, but yeah, they look pretty hype. Khorne has so little ranged. You know, the one time I lost to was it Khorne? Because I got pushed into the corner while playing Norsca? That was sad. Show? No. You can look it up yourself. You're on the internet, right? It's not like that crazy anyways, right? Is it possible for both players to reach 1,500 points at the same time? Yes, and it becomes a tie. Now, I've proposed to CA to make tiebreakers based on who has more capture points. I think it only makes sense. But that's pretty low priority. The things I want them to add is this. I want them to update the Spectator. I want them to update spells, abilities, give Nurgle and Skaven buffs, nerf the strong factions, fix leashing units, fix range units, and buff some weak sauce units too. Fairly low entity count for Khorne. I would say that's overall a good thing for me. We've once again gone for the Unga Bunga. It's a whack load of just Marauders. Very straightforward. Ready, good luck, have fun. The question is, can we actually uptrade against Khorne? Final Transmutation will be good. Maybe we'll catch Wrathmongers with it and get that little extra oomph to actually get them off the map. Showing it would be cool so we can discuss. Alright, fine. Norse. Let's see here. Marauder. Old World. It's kind of small though. Alright, here we go. Save. No, not save the link. Save image as. Okay, I'll show it off in a second. After the game. After the game. Here we go. Huzzah. We got Wolfric. We're going to push. Actually, having a little bit of time. Image. Battle's not going to start anytime soon. We're good. Downloads. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, yo, look at that. Height, right? Pause now if you want to discuss. Okay. Oh, nice. It did go for a Hellforge Bellows. Very nice. So that's fairly good for us then. If I take a bunch of Ice Wolves here, they should be able to harry his horsemen. Just gotta do a little bit of dodging. A little bit of a wee bit of maneuvering here. Wolfric's a speed demon on his horse. He is relatively fast. He should be okay. We just gotta stay away from the Hellforge Bellows. Just make sure it doesn't get the biggest hits known to man, and I'm happy. Whoop. A little bit of an axe thrower volley. Goes to waste. And we've dodged the Bellows pretty well. No, he shot my Marauders. That's actually fine then. As long as it doesn't shoot my Berserkers, I'm happy. The Berserkers are my pride and glory. I really don't want them to die. Because it's just a bunch of marauder spam, right? It's not really that much. And against horsemen, I really don't have to worry about them. Horsemen are pretty chumpy overall. They're pretty easy to bully. We don't want to get down this hill, otherwise his cannon can start shooting me. And that would be very inconvenient. But I do want a manticore. Manticore is hype. You know what? We're probably gonna have to fight this anyways. So let's get a good doggy charge in there. His lord did manage to escape, but was still relatively okay. Should be a fairly good boat cast. Very nice. Got the Fimir cooking. He's getting some good deeps though. A few of my guys are actually not really in the fight yet, which is a little bit of an issue. But we are routing off a couple marauder dual weapons. That's good. We have our dogs in here. Also very good. The guy has Skull Reapers. He's insane. Alright. So a couple Skull Reapers are here. We're getting some really nice routes though. And then if we kill this thing, then he's real screwed, right? He can't defend it either because big final transmutation is away. Wolfric just has to stay safe. We have a triple cap. Value is still fairly in our favor. And the final transmutation indeed was quite punishing. Overall, I'd say it's an okay situation. With the Minotaurs being the big bad that I actually have to finish off here. They're gonna go for my wizard, but he'll be mostly fine. We can kill the Minotaurs with ice doggos, I think. If we keep rear charging these guys and getting them off the map, life should be fairly chill. Yeah, there you go. A couple terror routes. That'll get the job done. And the double manticore is actually a big problem for him. He doesn't have a lot that can actually fight double manticore. If Skulltaker goes down, he's basically a dead man too. My opponent really doesn't want to lose Skulltaker. I really don't want to lose Wolfric though. So we're just gonna boat to save ourselves here. That should go okay. We get more dogs. You can see his horsemen didn't really do much because we had so much stuff here. And Wolfric has survived, thank goodness. All right, nice. So we're just gonna use our superior melee strength to take out all of his range stuff here. Come on, double manticore. This is on you to cook. Looks like it's not going as well as I could have hoped for. This center position is being ground down fairly well, all things considered. I will need yet another final transmutation, I guess, if we want this to go well. Gonna summon some skin wolves next. I do have more infantry at the ready at least. And a final transmutation, whenever it comes, will definitely be a huge bonus for us. I don't think he's capturing this point anytime soon. Can move some guys over there just in case. Okay, I'm just gonna normal cast final transmutation here because it'd be insane not to cast. There's just so much stuff here that's gonna be worth killing. I just need a few more seconds. Come on. Come on, baby. Yeah, there we go. Got it. And that's going to kill off everything else here. That should be a non-issue. Mega hit on the final transmutation. I love these manticores, by the way. They really help in the SC fight. Weirdly enough, Khorne doesn't do that well in the single entity engagement super often. So as long as you bring like a couple bonus SEs, you can usually win and keep units like the Skulltaker down. Skulltaker is really only scary if you just bring like one Lord and that's it, and then they'll get outdueled. You usually need like a little bit more health. And like they're not going to bring a Bloodthirster. Those are kind of ludicrous. It's looking great though. We have the Skin Wolves at the ready. Gonna charge some of those Khorne Gores and then immediately disengage so they don't take halberd damage. We are out of boats, sadly. But there's like nothing left here, right? And he taps out. GG, well played.
Unending glory is
Wondrous. Absolutely wondrous. That went pretty well. We went for a melee build. He went for a non-melee build. You can see when you're rushing, their range tools generally have a hard time paying for themselves. And then they kind of become more of a liability than anything else. Skull Reapers did actually get 1,100 value though. Pretty bonkers. Pretty good. More AFK laddering, maybe after the tournament. Though I do have some stuff I gotta do a little later. How'd the Berserkers do? Amazing. Bro, the Berserkers cooked so hard. And we're up against Navigator again. Hell yeah. Alright. And then I got an admin boss toss as they defeated Ezer. So it's me, Navigator, and Boss Toss that are in the top 4 right now. We're waiting on one more match to be played, and then we're good. Boss Toss. A lot of big names, man. A lot of huge names. New season really lit up the scene. Like, even Danican wasn't playing that much by the end of the last season. Miststalkers got wrecked by halberds. Oh, that's what happened. MB. Okay, Greenskins though. Now we fight the Greenskins. Alban Proving Grounds. Yeah, I kind of want a close quarters map. Proving Grounds is like, the Greenskins might kite me to death, you know? I don't really want that. There's been a few games that were quite fast. Yeah. I think that's just a me thing. I tend to make my builds pretty fast. And my matches tend to be one-sided because of my playstyle. With Russian Kite, your opponent has to end the game quickly or they'll lose quickly. So naturally, it just leads to very fast games. We're playing on Chateau, all right. Last time he did not have a lot that could deal with the Hunter Javelins. I kind of worry that he's gonna, you know, get a tech build to beat my Berserker spam. It's not like I don't have a counter though. If he brings a million skirmishers and I spam Marauders, I should be okay. Skin Wolves were really good last time. Double Manticore is really good. I think I'm pretty happy with this build. I do kind of wish Norsca had easier access to Terror outside of Manticores. But honestly, Manticores are fine enough. It's kind of funny. Because Khorne actually really has a hard time fielding cheap Terror. Like, think about it, right? What's the cheapest Terror unit on the Khorne roster? It's like a Bloodthirster, right? Like, I don't think there's anything cheaper than a Bloodthirster. So, yeah, they're kind of screwed. Or like the Knights of the Brazen Throne. Soul Grinder. Oh, there you go. That's technically the cheapest. You just have to bring a Soul Grinder. But yeah, nothing in like the 800 range like with Manticores. I think if you gave them a Manticore, Khorne would actually be an insanely strong faction. How would Masked Foals do against the Berserker build? I think the DPS is probably too high. If I have some good Terror, then it'd be pretty rough with the Trolls. And we have Fire. We have Burning Head, which is a pretty solid leadership debuff. So I don't think there's much. Now, do I want a fast fight versus Greenskins or a slow fight? I think a fast fight is slightly better. So I'll deploy on this side. Probably summon a Marauder here at the beginning to capture the point. Or no, I'm gonna take that Norscan Ice Wolf. And if we see trolls, I am going to get the Manticore. Manticore in general is just gonna be good versus Greenskins. You finally won a multiplayer game? Ah, hell yeah, Noble Naldor. Yo, what did you do? Did you do the low micro build that I talked about, or did you just wing it and earn it yourself? Tell me, man. Tell me, how did it go? It's a Grom again. Yeah, technically the Soul Grinder should be stronger than a Medusa for the price point. Whoops, I was a little late there. That's a Purple Sun. Oh my god. Wait. He has 4 Black Orcs. Alright. This will be interesting. Now, 4 Black Orcs is obviously a little bit of a menace. In the end, I should be okay as the army's quite slow. I can envelop his archers and use the Fimir to uptrade the Black Orcs. It looks terrifying, though. It definitely looks absolutely terrifying. Can Wolford get a free pot shot on this River Troll Hag? Probably not. Can I, is he gonna see this? Maybe it is. And a decent damage to his archers. Could be slightly better, but I'll take decent. I'll take a decent hit there. So there's a early triple cap. We get more Ice Wolves. I'm gonna wear him down with some early game magic. Gonna wear him down with some early game magic. Because I'm getting ready for a big rush, and he doesn't have any spells that can deal a lot of damage to me in this early skirmish phase. So we're just getting a value lead by killing off his archers right now. Though his Rugleds are getting a little bit more poke than I hoped that they would. At the very least, though, I should be able to outmaneuver these Black Orcs. And I will summon a Manticore, as that Burning Head was pretty juiced. It was pretty juiced, I'm not gonna lie. Manticore's just gonna dive bomb him. Alright, and what's he gonna do versus this rather vicious engagement? We have more Burning Heads. We have some Ice Wolves here. Rear charge on his archers should break him. Rip archers, and we just run away from the big guns. Gonna get a pretty solid flankerino over here. And we're just gonna push on in. Let's take out the archers first. I would rather terror out them if at all possible. Okay, we'll send the Fimir over here to give me some mass. Use the Berserkers through the line that we've broken in through. Send these guys here. Get the Burning Head as we were looking for. Then we're gonna get more Wolf Boys here. Now, it gets pretty solid Burning Head, but it actually friendly fires them quite a bit. As usual, Berserkers do not care in the slightest about cavalry. So that's 1 Black Orc down the drain. Caster's getting bullied a little bit, but he's distracting Grom, who's a very high priority target. And yeah, he's gonna have to leave my caster. So overall, not too bad. Haven't been able to rout off his archers quite yet. But I think we're doing okay. Some of his cav here is being a little annoying. Value trading is kind of even too, which is a little sus. I'm gonna need another boat soon. And it looks like he wants to get a solid rear charge over here. Second Manticore is away though. Where's this Manticore? Okay, trying to rout off the archers. Now, we will have a Burning Head down the pipe. Should clip the archers and rout them off. We've routed off his boys over there. Jeez. This is a big gun unit chasing my dogs, by the way. That's a 900 gold unit that's kind of being useless. Very good for me, I must say. He gets a pretty big Purple Sun, though. Right on top of his cav, though, so he's kind of trading them out. Indeed, Manticore does terror out some of the archers, but still a little bit of a match going on here, right? Grom the Paunch also heals, mind you. So you gotta be a little wary of that guy. My doggos, man. Can I summon some marauders here to bog down the cav? And then let the dogs countercharge? We'll see. Do I have a... Yes. We have a spell cast over there. Let's get the doggos out of there. We're going to use our manticores for some leadership breaks. Get the marauders on the point. And, okay, we might finally rout off the rugloods. It took me many years, but it looks like the deed will be done. Got to desummon doggos. You want to resummon them as much as possible. It seems like trading is fairly even with tickets in our favor. That's exactly where we want to be. Manticore should book it, though. Definitely don't want him to die. We've killed off his big guns for an extremely value price point. And his hero squad is a little out in the open. With Wolfric and double Manticore, they are probably going to be snipeable, right? Do I have a burning head here? I do. Might as well chuck a burning head. I think these Fimir will do fine over here. I don't really need to worry about that. And I'm instead just going to get the snipe off. We're just going to get the snipe off. Desummon so that we can get him back. And then once we have our skin wolves in the fight, it should be pretty over. Here comes the big massacre play. Will it be enough? Fimir need to hold for a little while here, but I'd be a little worried for Grom if I were my opponent. Got more skin wolves on the way. Manticores are doing okay. They're doing all right. One of them I sent on the cav a little early. Didn't really need to stay there. I'm not worried about a counter charge because we have skin wolves coming in. Will we kill Grom though? I know the Marauder Berserkers can get a lot of deeps in. But Grom's a tanky boy. I need to get ready for the counter charge too. I'm gonna need more mobility. Okay, so there he goes. Big charges. We got a lot of desummons in here. I didn't get a great focus fire on his SCs. You can see his River Troll Hag is kind of taking damage along with Grom instead of focus firing. And that may pull things back for my opponent. We'll see though. This is a fight with 2 Manticores and a Wolfric. And of course, many terror routes abound. Grom does have an ITP aura though. But with no Black Orcs and lots of anti-large and dogs, I'm feeling like this is a safe enough situation, especially with Wolfric on such high HP. His cavalry was just a little too late. He actually doesn't have any cav. No, he has 1, but yeah, they're a little too slow, so we actually get the rear charge. And that's gonna mess him up real bad. That's kind of the tipping point that that ends him here. Just having that slight mobility advantage. Now we're gonna see if we can give him a bad attack order on these doggos. Seems like he's not charging them. Oh, he's not charging anything. Oh, that's brutal. So he just gets countercharged by the dogs and the skin wolves. And the SC squad is dead. Grom can no longer punch it. And that's gonna be game. That's totally game now. There's no way he can possibly come back. Maybe if I go AFK, but I think we just had slightly too good trades. The Berserkers win again, even against mass Black Orcs. The Berserker is absolutely cooked. Here we go. We have a burning head just to finish the job and rout these guys off. They're on the verge of routing, so goodbye, big guns. Very nice. River Troll Hag is shattered, so now I don't need a chaser, and that's gonna be game. Nice, very nice. Smooth games for the Norskins today. Very nice. Burning Head is a menace versus Greenskins. Dangler knows that. Also, Noble Naldor, I read your comment in a second. Manticores were clutch. I think this is a great... This is a pretty good build. So that was Norsca versus Greenskins. Norsca wins. Skin Wolves are pretty nice. I think I summoned them a little late. And the Ice Wolves were kind of just running around. They're cheaper than his cavalry, so if he's chasing them, he's generally down trading. How does Black Orcs do? Only one of them paid for themselves, but the one that did got a lot of value. It tells me that I really needed to focus fire them to have won there. Like if I was not spamming the boats on them and all that, it could have gone real messy real fast. The Fimir probably killed off the other two. Not the worst. How'd we shut down his archers? Rugloods did pretty good. But the Savage Orc Archer boards were super routing 24/7. I got a money burning head on them. Very nice. We crumpet. Fimir not paying for themselves is criminal. Yeah, but they do reduce armor, which helps the Berserkers get value. You played Slanesh versus Greenskins. Hell yeah, Noble Naldor. Pendulum and Malkoths, very meta. Had some Hellstriders, Fury, Seekers, and Exalted Demonettes to back up. Hey, that's a good build. Routed some Goblins, netted Grom with your army ability, and then killed them early. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Yo, let's go. Noble Naldor figuring it out. And you can only go upwards from here. Your win rate can't get worse. At least hopefully it doesn't get worse. Should have gone for the double spider flinger build. Ah, yeah. Yeah, he did kill one of his Black Orcs with Purple Sun. That was a little bit of a misplay. Yeah, slowly but surely. At your own pace, you know? It's not a race. Is there a known issue with Reaper Bolt Throwers not changing ammo type? I have no idea. Nobody uses Reaper Bolt Throwers, man. Let alone the spread attack for Reaper Bolt Throwers. These games are really quick and brutal. Yeah, that's Berserkers for you. They just walk forwards and they win the fight. The only way to beat Berserkers is to not fight them. If you get into melee against them, you're probably in for a bad time. So you need archers, maybe some kite, that kind of business. Cavalry's a no-go. Don't use cavalry against them, okay? A cav charge against spears will be more effective than a cav charge against Berserkers. Look at these stats. 40 melee attack, 52 weapon strength. Look at the melee defense on these orc boar boys, and you will realize that yeah, Berserkers are actually just cavalry, right? They might as well be monstrous infantry. Look at that. They have 18 more melee attack. Permanent 18 melee attack boost. Their leadership is ludicrous, and their damage is quite a bit more. Oh wait, actually, yeah, no, it's 60% more. That's kind of crazy. So when you don't get your impact damage, you gonna die. Oh yeah, and they have frenzy. Never mind. It's actually 28 more melee attack. That's crazy, man. Cavalry really rely on their impact hits, by the way, to do damage. Yeah, pretty low model count actually helps them out a lot. They have 100 HP per entity, so spells are actually slightly less effective against them. Why don't you run the Brutes of the Hound? Oh yeah, did you see my Berserkers that game? By the time they routed, they had like 1% HP left. So you don't actually need the Brutes of the Hound, you're just giving something for your opponent to focus fire. They're not bad though, like, I don't think you're screwing yourself over by taking them. But they kind of perform the same as a normal Berserker. So you might be like 150 gold down by running them instead of normal Zerkers. It's a little bit of a toss-up. Oh yeah, and they have the Berserk trait that builds melee attack. Yeah, so if they fight for a minute, they will get plus 13 melee attack and 20% Fizz Res. Oh my god. Wait, yo, you should just re-summon them. Do they get to keep the ability if you desummon and resummon them? Does it stay just as stacked? Yeah, they're insane. Insane unit. I think it's good though. Like Norsca should have best in class like unarmored infantry, right? Like I feel like Norsca should have some of the best dual weapon infantry outside of maybe Khorne. Because like, you know, it's Norsca. Like what are you gonna give it to the Wood Elves or something? Nah, Wood Elves have best in class AP anti-infantry. Still die to cavalry though. I feel like this is just the most thematic Norscan unit though. I think it doesn't get more thematic than this. Yeah, do they keep the built-up physical resist? Let me actually test that out real quick. Skirmishry, it's and we go Norsca, right? Do they keep it? Because then you can resummon them and they'll be at full HP with 40% physical resist. Wouldn't that be broken? They don't keep the buff? Dang it. I might as well double check since I'm here. Yeah, the buff is not a build up. Oh no, it does have that little bar. Kind of like how Hellstriders do, but yeah, it's a toss up. Like Hellstriders keep it.
Keep it from the foe.
Yeah, loose formation's pretty good. Alright, let's see. Oh, it builds up. Huh. There's 9%. So there's the rampage. They were almost fully stacked. 17% resistance. 19% resistance. We are now at 20%. Leave them against the Lord for a little bit. So there we go. There's the second stage of the buff. Did they get it? Ah. So when they leave melee, it just goes away completely? No, no, okay, yeah, okay. It goes away when they leave melee. They have to stay in melee to keep it. That's kind of rough. That means the best strat against Berserkers is to disengage from them. If you, like, stay in melee with them for too long, then they just become indestructible. That's actually kind of interesting. Someone should do a 2v2 tournament where you heal the Berserkers so that you can make use of the maximum physical resist. Chevrons, yeah, they get to keep chevrons. You know, the Thunder Barge, keeping silver chevrons though is technically like 1,000 gold worth of value. 750, why are they so cheap? I would say Berserkers, they're definitely Berserkers are probably in the same tier as Wildwood Rangers. Because Wildwood Rangers are just Berserkers with armor piercing. I guess less mass, but actually, yeah, I think Wood Elves might even run Berserkers, even if they have the choice between that and Wildwood. Berserkers are kind of busted. They're not like OP busted, but they're definitely one of the best infantry units in the game. Does anyone have something better? Not really. They retain the charge of their ability when they next enter melee. Huh. Weird. So you're telling me, okay, now I have to test it again. I'll send a Berserker in. I'll let it charge. Man, I've never looked into the deep Norscan mechanics. Do they have more HP than the Rangers? They do. They have 10,000 HP. They actually have more HP than most infantry. 10,000 HP. Look at that. Look at these Marauders. They have more HP than Marauders. It's crazy. And they have ITP. Actually, wait, yeah, this unit's kind of crazy, isn't it? The only thing is that they get shot a lot, and Norsca doesn't have the best ways of protecting a unit from getting shot to death. So there's that. And spell casting too can be quite good. Like, you can still cast like a burning head on them and it'll be quite painful. So they're currently at 5% physical resist. If I disengage and re-engage, do they keep the 5%? Oh my god, yeah, so it does stay. It does stay. So that's 66%, 75, that's 80% intensity. And then if I desummon them, you surprised the stream's still going? Yeah, a bit of a long one today. Some of the tournament rounds took a little while. Alright, so if we desummon them and bring them back, it says intensity 0%. They have to die for the charge to retain on the resummon? That's so weird. Well, 125 gold difference is actually quite a bit for infantry tiers. Like 500 gold infantry and 750 gold infantry are in completely different tiers. Gore herd are kind of in between though, I know what you mean, but okay, yeah, so it doesn't retain. So no OP Berserker resummon, sadly. I think it does actually apply to the rage mechanic though. So the rage is a weaker version of the, come on. Oh yeah, that has to be fixed too. The Berserker rage, it just, yeah, it's a different style of intensity. It's not a timer based one. So I think this one does stick around. Yeah, fun fact. Moving mouse over UI breaks tool, breaks left side, what's it? Stat tool tip. Yeah, fun fact. So look at these Marauders, right? I have them selected. You can see their stats. If I hover the UI, it goes away. Because CA! Because CA. It's great. Anyways, they're at 66% intensity. Let's desum them. Doomseekers to keep their ward safe. I think most units keep their intensity stuff. Just not the Berserkers because it's a weird timer thing. No, they don't. Huh. That's kind of crazy. So what, it's just Hellstriders then? Is it a bug? Have Hellstriders been bugged this whole time? Yo, yo. I'm Norsca. Scrambled Egg Special has the lobby. Can we defeat the Egg Special? Let's see. He's playing Tzeentch, which is, last I played, kind of sus. Kind of sus for Norsca. They like to snipe your lord. So we are first map ban. Imperial Ambush, Altar of the Champion, and Dried Floodplain. Ban Dried. I think Ambush is not a terrible map for us. Oh wait, no, Dried Floodplain is, I think it's good for us. Can I see Dried? I think Dried Floodplain is one with a lot of trees. Also, he's on the land battle It's a map for some reason. Tzeentch is the final boss. Hellstriders bug, no way. Yeah, this is the grand finals. If we win this, we're done. Ah, yes, okay. Ban ambush. So we will have trees to hide in regardless. That's a good sign. Kind of need that. Tzeentch is not the end of the world. I would say they are fairly manageable. I do have to make sure Wulfric doesn't get shot to death. I'm sure he'll be okay. And magic-wise, I guess this? There's not a lot of magic that does well versus Tzeentch. Their shields are a big pain in the butt. Berserkers are also a little foolhardy versus Tzeentch. Just a little bit. Just a smidge, right? They're gonna have Changebringers. Need some sort of skirmish action. He wants to play Altar of the Champion. Alright. I still think Berserkers are pretty good in general, but they really have to not get shot by blues and pinks. Enough blues and pinks and it's over, guys. It's totally over. We can't really afford to let that happen. Ah, geez, so what's the best way to play this? You know, Tzeentch doesn't have the best time versus Ice Wolf chariots because they can cleave through their infantry and most of their cavalry is quite expensive. So I guess we have that. And Fimir, I guess they're armored. I guess in theory Fimir are actually pretty good versus Tzeentch, right? Is there anything else I would want other than Fimir? Guess maybe not. Ugh, this is not a feel-good situation though. This is not a feel-good situation. I'm gonna get Tzeentched, man. We're gonna get hella Tzeentched. Okay, I guess maybe this is actually not terrible. Maybe. Oh god, how do you not get Tzeentched? Jeez, I feel like everything here hates Tzeentch. This is gonna be a terrible time. We're gonna have to really play well this game. My mobility is gonna have to go hard. Regeneration means you take more damage from fire. Everything does fire damage. Now you can't take armored skin wolves, but they only have 70 armor. That's not that great. Blues and pinks will still brutalize them pretty hard. I don't have armored trolls either, so I can't use that. I guess I'm screwed then. I guess we're dead. I guess it's super Jover unless I clutch it out somehow. Oh yeah, I should also add to this. Banned units nerfed / fixed. Yeah, in tournaments we have a lot of banned units that that could be adjusted. That's another one. Let's keep building up that list. Are you guys saying that Tzeentch is a bad matchup for the monkeys? Yeah, they're too big brain. Frost Dragon? Ah, hell yeah. Yeah, get that insta-death. I feel like all the cold units should be resistant to fire. Banned units and abilities. War Shrine Mammoth is limited to 1 right now because if you bring 2 of them, they stack their auras on each other permanently. Doombolt is banned because it's OP. Arrows of Kurnos is limited because it's OP. Ice Wolf Chariots are limited to 2 because stacking chariots is banned. And Locust Conjuration is banned because it gives you up to 7 to 10 more winds of magic than it should. Is this a tournament? Indeed it is. We're playing the grand finals right now. Norsca versus Tzeentch. A tough matchup, but one we may be able to win. He's really thinking though. What's he gonna do? Are we gonna see blue fire? And I think we're gonna see a Kairos and a blue fire. Yeah, I think this is it. It's gonna be Kairos, the blue fire. There's gonna be a million blues and pinks. And then Doom Knights, maybe? You think he's gonna go for Doom Knights? It's gonna be 5 Changebringers. I should probably have some anti-Changebringer tech. Alright, there you go. Now we're good. Let's do it. You think with skill, strategy, good micro, and a little luck, Tzeentch might be able to clinch this one? I think there's a high chance that he just has a good build against us, and then we're screwed. But we'll see. I have 5 Berserkers. Every single game today, we have gone for 5 Berserkers. Looky here. Now is our time. So we're gonna move some guys here to capture the flank point. These guys are gonna go straight for here. I only need 1 Marauder to control this, because I don't want to put my Berserkers in a bad situation. And I have double Fimir. I'm gonna block things up for them. Now I actually gone for the dreaded Foot Wreck. Look at him. Look at this beast of a man. He's huge. Holy crap, he's massive. What the crap? Wolfrick's huge. If these guys have 180 mass and these guys are 100 mass, that means Wolfrick is like 3 times the man that a Marauder is. He's huge. He's ginormous. What is he eating? Also, Caprillo, thank you so much for the 9-monther. So let's see if we can do this. I'm hoping for some infantry we can fight against. A lot of blues and pinks. He has a caster, he has a spawn summon, and he has Glittering Robe and Plague of Rust. He's on the mount, which costs a little bit. My army's actually quite large, as you can see. My army is huge. If I can just take a fight against him, I think we actually just straight up win. His army's not that proficient versus mine, right? It shouldn't be able to get that much done. I just gotta capture the points and start flanking. And then I should be okay. He summons in another range unit, which is kind of surprising to me. That means I can fairly safely summon in a chariot now. But I almost want to hold it so that he doesn't get some anti-chariot tech coming on in to counter it. So just gonna go over here. We're gonna play quite aggressively. I should be able to secure the points quite well. And he doesn't have magic with the Berserkers. Had he brought Pink Fire, I would have been in a pretty bad spot. But if he keeps summoning in range units to kill my Berserkers, he's just gonna run into a face full of chariots. So let's see if we can continue to bait him out. Wolfrick can also just YOLO in here. It's one of those games where we just send him in. Fimir have amazing armor, so they don't really have to worry too much. Overall, I'd say we're in a good position. Summons another halberd. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So my army's quite chunky compared to his. And I think my opponent knows it. He's positioning extremely safely right now. Yeah, he's playing super safe. Almost absurdly safe right now. He also doesn't have anything that can kill my foot squad. That's pretty fun. I'm gonna try and get some damage in on his lord. With Wolfrick there, he should be able to do well. He has really good melee stats. And sitting on a triple cap is a fairly nice position for us. Now his lord's gonna suffer a little bit. He fights just long enough to get the shields down. We're not going to have much use of this final transportation anyways, so I might as well bully the guy and potentially snipe him in a late game situation. Because realistically, if he keeps idling and I get another final transportation, this guy dies the next time I cast it. He can't desummon his lord, so now he's kind of just a liability for a little bit. And that is pretty bad for my dear opponent here. Summon some spawn, alright. I don't want to use my boats just yet. We don't have many prime targets for that. But if I just keep chilling here, I think we're good. Build up doesn't work too well when you are triple capped. The timer that gets put on you is just a little too high. There shall be no flanking of these guys. And I don't need to get into the fight until he starts capturing a point, because that's when we're going to be pushing him off the point. So as it stands right now, we're kind of chilling. I got another great final transmutation coming up quite soon. We have lots of cash money. So we're going to go for a double manticore. Then we're going to go for a double chariot. There we go. And then we're going to start spamming the dogs. Now Wolfric, he's chilling. He's having a good time. I gotta get the flank on his pinks and such by pushing in with the Fimir. They should be able to do that fairly well, though. He just doesn't really have the halberd density to get it done. And it seems like maybe we can get a sick clutch hit here. We'll see. Manticore should be pretty good. And of course, with the chariots coming in, I should be sitting decently comfortably here, right? Yeah, so there goes the double manticore. Yeah, get another dog in. I have one berserker idling. That's my B. But the chariots, they should do fairly well here. As long as we continue to micro them, not through those super annoying halberds. Jeez, alright. So I let a few of them get caught. He uses a spawn summon here. That's pretty crazy. We're gonna keep going for the Lord Snipe. Keep disrupting him. If I can do that, we'll be okay. Maybe a Marauder here will do well. Seems like his lines are starting to collapse pretty bad, though. Manticores, one of them actually routed off his unit. The other can chase off his poor guys. And yeah, it feels like he's running out of steam a little bit. Now, he shut down my chariots really well, which is bad for me. But most of his range are pretty beat up. I do have another final transmutation if I really need to. Man, my chariots, though, are really not doing that well. I could be microing them a bit better, admittedly. How's his lord, though? He's still getting bullied pretty hard. The double manticore means that he can't really occupy both of them at once, at least. And he's very nearly dead. A little doggy charge on them halberds, and then disengage. Most of my berserkers are rampaging away. Let's see if we can catch these cavalry units here. Man, these chariots, though, are really not cooking. I kind of goobered with the whole chariot business. I should be able to get a pretty sick final transmutation, though. Value trading wise, we're actually doing amazing too. Good to see, good to see. Yeah, here we go. Very soon we can get a huge spell cast. His lord's getting bullied to hell and back too. Oh my gosh, and he just leaves. I guess his lord was gonna die, and I was gonna get an overcast final transmutation. That went well though. Not having pink fire was a big misplay. His lord got so little value. He cast one Plague of Rust and that was it. Dang, man. Dang, Norsca. Holy jeez. I threw away 2,000 gold worth of chariots too. My chariot micro sucked butts. Oh my god, look at that. I could have won even harder if I just spammed something other than chariots. Manticores were hilarious. Yeah, his build really didn't have anything versus Berserkers. And his infantry just couldn't get their volleys off. So I guess that's it. Dang. Well, that was chill. I guess Norsca's a good faction. That's another win for your boy Anticity, by the by. Very nice. Yeah, I goobered the chariots straight into halberds. I was a fool. I was a fool, and it was still such an easy victory. Obviously, the skirmishers were a big setback for him, though, right? His cavalry also weren't that scary. How did Wulfric do? Not much. The final transmutation on his lord is so brutal, though. He definitely made a misplay losing his shields. Because the whole game, his lord was just on the run. The poor guy. And he was on a horse, too. I got mad savings taking foot Wulfric and this guy. How'd the Fimir do? Honestly, not that great. Who won it? Yeah, the Berserkers. I guess the moral of the story is always take Berserkers and always bring a Berserker counter. GG. Chad Glittering Robe Enjoyer. I did like seeing Glittering Robe. That was pretty fun. Very, very nice. Pretty cool how strong Norsca is despite being a game 1 faction with no DLC until later this year. Yeah, it's crazy. And they're such a rush faction. Like, they're a rush faction through and through, you know? They've been a strong rush faction since the very beginning. Berserkers were bad for a bit, but they recently got buffed. It's nice. It shows that you don't need 1,000,000 units or DLCs to crush it. Could have been a dragon. Dude, if I brought a Frostworm, it could have actually breath attacked his halberd so hard. Imagine you cut these and you just go for a Frostworm. In case they go for a heavy armor build and you just breath attack them. That would be jokes. The you don't have blue fire, so I'm an end you unit. But the map was really bad for him. Map wise, we had a huge advantage. All of them had trees. If we were playing on a big open map, I think he would have for sure taken blue fire. 10,000%. Well, anyways, hope you guys had a great time. That's 7-0. My win rate on Total Tavern is currently 96%. Hell yeah. 3 tournament wins. The only other person that has tournament wins is Danican, and they're at 1. It's not going to stay for that long. As soon as the weekend hits, I'm sure people will catch up. But yeah, we're being a real gatekeeper right now. All the people that are playing to qualify for the next grand finals, I'm just like, no wins for you. And then I'll host a tournament where we throw games and still qualify, but then like lower level players qualify for the tournament. I intentionally lose to them so that they get tournament wins, and it knocks out people from the top 16, right? The true meta game to win the next grand finals. I wouldn't, by the way. That would be kind of BM, but technically doable. Technically doable. Regardless, I hope you guys had a great time. Peace out and have a wonderful day. We'll be streaming tomorrow another tournament, and then Thursday maybe I'll take a break. We'll see.